Welcome everybody to our latest session of the Rise of Tiamat. We just had a brief conversation before this session started, and it looks like we are going to be wrapped up with this in campaign within the next 3 weeks. So that's a guess based on amount of material left, and we will see how close we get to that. But yeah, we're definitely in the final stretches here, folks. As usual, we'll do a quick recap of what occurred last week, and then we'll get started. So this is going to be a very high-level summary, but you guys have been in Xanthal's Tower for the last couple of sessions, and that is where we found you guys in the last session. When you guys were there, we first started with you guys having already entered the basement of Xanthal's Tower, and we had Spectre and Roland waiting outside. At the beginning of last session, Spectre decided to make her way down, aka Spectre's player was back with us, and Spectre went through this room where there was a couple of elemental beings, was able to get past that without too much difficulty, meet up with the rest of the group who had just recently passed through the cosmic space. So when we picked up the last session with the group, 2 individuals had fallen off of the glass transparent pathway, and that was Armony and Gale. Gale was able to phase step to get himself back to the platform before anything bad happened. Unfortunately, Armony was sucked into the nothingness of cosmic space. The team did not know what happened to her, but ultimately, after drifting in this very strange environment, she ended up falling down, slamming, suffering some damage, as she found herself in a strange location with a large crystal lens set in sort of a stone apparatus. She could see through the crystal lens some fire, and just started scanning around, seeing what she could find there, seeing if there was any way for her to get out, but it was pretty challenging. The team then in the cosmic space ended up making their way to the north and to the west, found the body of a cultist, which they remembered after having seen him on the balcony that this was Iskander. Iskander had the blue dragon mask in hand and was slain. His wounds were many, and you guys were able to determine that he was injured by the elementals on his way through this area, and those wounds apparently were more than he could stand, and he ended up dying there. In that room with him, there were 2 hourglasses, these very, very large hourglasses, and the sand was at the bottom of the hourglass on both of them. So you guys examined this area a bit, and eventually started making your way back once you regrouped with Spectre, who was coming across the other way. You guys went in eventually. I think it was Armony was able to figure out how to get out of the place that she was in, because from her side there was a very obvious alcove where a door must be, even though it didn't look like there was, and she was able to grab onto the wall there and have it shift away, opening the secret door that led her back into the library. In the library, she was able to regroup for the team, but not before, as she had opened that door, the bunch of loose leaf sheets of paper suddenly started floating around in a very furious spinning and formed sort of sentient beings that attacked her. She managed to run out of the room, and the papers did not follow her out of the room. She regrouped with the rest of you guys. You guys made your way back into... I think you guys may have went back to the room with Iskander once again and tried to figure out what was going on there. At least Gale did. He wanted to flip those hourglasses to see if that did anything, so he did. Eventually, you guys also made your way over to the east part from the cosmic space and found a large red-skinned giant type creature that was sitting in this room looking at a chessboard. As you all approached this, the very perceptive eyes of Spectre was able to see that there was a fine line of this sort of dust or sand in sort of making a box out of this room. And with putting 2 and 2 together, the group was able to deduce that this creature could not leave this area, even though several of the group members actually stepped over that line and were fairly close to the creature as they spoke with him. He spoke with the group and was trying to convince the group to break the line to let him out. There was a lot of debate amongst the group about how to treat that, what to do, should they help him. Some of the group seemingly wanted to try to wiggle a favor out of him to say, like, hey, if we open this, you owe us this, and he didn't seem like he was very fond of that idea, saying that it would, require almost nothing from the party members to just brush away this sand and allow him to get out. But that went on for a little while, with Hugo ultimately convincing the group to just let the guy go. And so he cleared it out. Once he did, the creature thanked Hugo and said he would be seeing him again soon before vanishing, obviously magically, out of this area. The team then made their way back and decided to check out this other room to the northwest, from the elemental room. So they went back into this room, fought the elementals, sort of shot them from a distance, engaged them in melee. Eventually were able to defeat all of the elementals, go into this other room where they found a swirling sort of like tornado in the middle of the room. Minute form of tornado here, again obviously magical. On closer inspection, the tornado had these gems within it. Hugo attempted to use his mage hand to pluck one of them out, but unfortunately it fired off to the ground, shattered, and conjured an air elemental, which attacked the group, but wasn't much of a challenge for our high-level adventurers here. So with that creature defeated, there didn't seem to be any easy way to actually take one of these gems out, because they were just moving in a very chaotic swirl. So the team decided to make their way out, search the room with the elementals, where they found a chest, and were able to find some scrolls in that chest that were of particular use against elementals, surprisingly. With this information in hand, the team decided to make their way back to the barracks level of Xanthal's Tower to try to rest there now that all of the enemies had apparently been defeated. Once they got there and were able to look out, or actually I think they went to the observatory first, went to the balcony, and were able to see out to the village of Xanthal's Tower, which is the village at the foot of the actual tower itself before the maze, and were able to notice that there was a large blue dragon in the vicinity that was currently decimating the village of Xanthal's Tower. With that, the party had a decision to make, what to do moving forward. Should they go out there and try to stop the dragon? Some suggested that they didn't really care much about the village, so that is where we left off. So yeah, team, that's the quick recap. Does anybody have anything to add that I missed?
There was one thing in the tornado room after we deduced that we shouldn't screw with the gems in the tornado. We searched, like, I think they were like cabinets or something, and we found like a bunch of research notes, something along those lines, a lot of pages. I couldn't make heads or tails of it, so I gave it to Hugo, who will hopefully have time to peruse them later, but we didn't really, it was all like very academic, senseless stuff to most of us, but hopefully there's something cool in there that Hugo can learn.
Yes, yep, that's correct. A lot of notes there in this sort of wizard's laboratory. Yeah, go and take inspiration for that specter. And yes, you guys have those on your person. Anything else anybody would like to
add? So I'll add that Gale used the sending stone to contact Daleen, and this message was, we have the blue tell Dahlia we have the blue mask and we're heading back. He replied, copy or something, and see you soon.
Yes, yep. So the council likely has been informed of the current status of your mission here. Yep, go and take inspiration for that, Gale. Any other additions?
I can't remember his name, but the red guy was nicknamed the Fair. I don't know if that's worth it, because I can't remember what his actual name was.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, if you have the full name, I mean, that'd probably be worth inspiration. Or if you can add any additional details of that individual.
Yeah.
If not, no worries.
He wasn't interested in playing chess.
That is true, yes. He was staring at a chessboard, but no pieces. And even though Gale was trying to engage him in chess, he seemed a little bit disturbed by the idea of having to play chess after sitting here for 100 years, according to him. All right, guys, so if there's nothing else to... Oh, is there something else that somebody wanted to add?
I'll just add, too, those cool books we found in the wizard's study, not in the tornado room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was something about abilities. Gale was very happy to find his 6-page coloring book.
Yes, yep. So you guys all spent some time in the library researching, and you were able to look for specific topics and things, and some of you managed to fine books that looked like they could be of fairly value, and some of them not so much based on their individual searching efforts.
Well, value is in the eye of the beholder. Gail's happy. That makes me happy.
There you go.
Oh, that's love.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, team, I'm going to pull you guys back onto the map. You are currently on the balcony of Xanthal's Tower and the observatory, where you have just witnessed this chaos that is out in the village.
All right, everybody, get inside before it sees us.
Did we throw Roland off of the balcony so he won't snitch on us?
When you guys came to the observatory, Roland was not here.
Damn doorways.
All right, well, what are we doing?
Well, we are going to go back to the council and show them the blue mask.
All right.
Well, problem is we have to get through a blue dragon before we do that.
No.
Unless
We
you
have-
think...
We have Hugo. He make magic happen. I stare at you expectantly with a big smile.
But this tower is all wonky.
Yeah, if we couldn't get in from outside, I don't think we're going to be able to get out from inside, is the problem.
Those poor people.
Yeah. But we can't fight that thing now.
Yeah, how's everyone doing on their magical aptitude? I have nothing left.
Yeah, I was just looking at mine.
Oh,
I can-
and as that realization comes to be, you start to think of all those times you used different spells, and were they really necessary now that this big dragon's out there?
I would like to clarify that I was not here for some of that. But I do believe that Brian did what I would do in most of those turns, so...
Yeah, I burned a lot. I don't want to be responsible for specters falling.
All right.
Regardless, that's...
I have the power to take us on the teleportation, but that's about it.
Yeah, and how long does that take? Would we be able to do it? Like...
I think it's a minute, but let me double check.
There's
Adam,
nothing
since we're
I can
here-
do. I'm just sad.
Since we're here, I'm going to look through this telescope thing again, because I'm bored.
It's still
Watch the dragon
daytime.
murder people.
Well, remember, it's pointed up at the stars, and because it's still daytime out, it's not full dark yet, even though it's getting dark. It's, mid to late afternoon getting into evening. You can still see there's enough light out that you can't really make out stars or constellations, anything like that.
Can I point it towards the skyscraper hotel and see if I see anyone taking shower?
You don't see any towers nearby Xanthal's Tower like that. Must not be a big tourist destination.
I will say that I could cast fly and help a couple people fly away if need be, or I could polymorph someone into an eagle or something like that. So just letting you know.
Well...
And we're saying once on each of those. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if we're going to be able to outfly a dragon, but if you can cast fly on Gale so that he can get to it, with that Slayer sword of his, we might have a chance. What are you thinking, Hugo? Can you get us out of here in a reasonable amount of time, or is it a no-go?
It'll take me 1 minute. I just have to lay out the chocks and whatnot.
Yeah, perfect.
So
time
we
for
have
the
to
dragon to
fend-
pick us out of its teeth in time for the spell to go off.
So we just, defend Hugo for 10 turns?
Sounds
but
perfect.
you gotta be close to me.
Barely.
And then come back. Shoot. How do we get out of this place? I'm going to kick the telescope.
We're probably gonna have to kill the dragon. I don't see another way, unless there's another way out of this tower that we haven't found that will take us somewhere else.
Have we used all the buttons?
I think so.
All right.
There's no buttons on this thing. It's broken. Oh, we can also just... Now, don't hate me by saying this, okay? But we could also just close the door and pretend like it's not happening and Blue Dragon fly away eventually. Don't hit me, Harmony.
But wouldn't the dragon be associated with these people?
I think Hugo's right. I think...
Might come say hello.
Yeah, we didn't get a perfect head count, so if any of the cultists got away, they might have alerted the rest of the cult, who then sent this dragon to deal with us. But it's worth noting...
We gotta get this mask out of here.
Yeah, it's worth noting that the dragon has not come directly to the tower, which makes me think that it can't get here. So...
And I'm out of short
That's
rests.
if indeed it's here for us.
Well, I think I risk it and try to use it, but it's a question of do we do it out here here in the tower or outside?
I have an opinion on that. So, if we go outside of Maze, and the four of us try to distract this dragon from killing all of us, and then you take 10 turns to draw your circle in the sand, which I think you should do faster, by the way, then would the likelihood of us actually living are like 0. But there might be 50-50 chance that we get out of tower. We couldn't get in. No one says we couldn't get out. That we just try it here.
Yeah. I mean, Zonthar probably would want to be able to teleport out of his tower.
Oh! Is that why Iskander was in that room? Oh, I don't want to have to go across the magic bridge again, but maybe that was the way to get out. Is that why I'm just so confused why he chose to die in that room. Ugh.
Was he a spellcaster? Did he have any kind of...
He had this spell book on him, and Hugo pulls out the book.
Oh, what does it say in spellbook?
I don't know. I haven't had a chance. You know what?
Are there notes in the margins?
Hugo
Secret
starts... yeah, he'll start reading the spell book to see what spells are in it.
Do the nerd thing. You're going to save us.
You can tell that the spellbook is written in a sort of coded hand. It's going to take you some time to decipher these spells.
Would comprehend languages help that?
That may, and if you were able to... I think that's is that a ritual? Comprehend languages?
Yeah.
Yeah,
ritual.
you think that would help.
Okay. He goes like, I'm sorry, this is going to take a while. That dragon may kill the village by the time I'm done reading this.
The dragon will kill the village before we get there regardless. We don't know how to get out of the maze either.
Yeah, that's true. But they did tell us, though, that it's easier to, leave than it is to get in. And when we were at that poor village.
Well, also, just as a reminder, when you guys exited back to the maze, you remember that right when you come back, there was a path to your south that you could just walk that would take you right back to the entrance to the maze.
I didn't remember that. Well, disregard what I said.
But that entrance to the maze is in front of the village. It's basically in the main street, right?
Where the dragon is currently dicking
It's not
everything.
the main street, but yes, it is in the village, and if you go there, there's certainly a chance the dragon would be able to see you.
I'm going to take chair and dust it off and put on side and try to make Hugo as comfortable as possible. Do your nerd stuff, brother.
Okay. So yeah, ritually cast comprehend languages in the 10 minutes.
Okay, so luckily with that door closed, you can't hear the terrible screams of pain and agony from the village as you manage to finish your ritual casting, and you are now able to comprehend languages.
Well, and
Nice,
it's kind of like one of those, does the forest, does a tree fall, you don't hear it. So if we can't hear it, it didn't happen, Adam.
Harmony hears them in her soul.
We are busy.
People die every day.
Yeah.
So with Comprehend Languages now up here, Hugo, you're able to see that this looks to be what you would assume to be almost like maybe a battle mage's spellbook. So the spells inside you notice are Mage Armor, Magic Missile, Shield, Misty Step, Fireball, Fly, Ice Storm, and Cone of Cold.
Sweet.
So anything to get us out of here?
Nope. It's all offensive magic.
Ugh.
But at least now we know. There's a couple of these spells I can learn from the book as well, but unfortunately it's not going to help us right now.
Yeah.
That-
So Hugo, can you tell me what happens if you cast your teleportation magic and it fails? What happens to us? Do we
Not
get
sure.
reduced to atoms or?
I've never done it before.
Great.
Not really a clue. Yeah, who knows what Xanthar's Tower would do to us? I don't know.
My vote is for doing it in the maze, but whatever.
Well, the maze, I think, is especially tricksy.
Hey, Hugo, if you had built a big tower to store all of your books, and then you would be able to teleport from any room, but which particular room would you be wanting to have that escape route? Would it be this telescope room?
Yeah, probably his bedroom.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be caught with your pants down. That's what Leroy always said.
Yeah. Full moon, you know what I mean? But we didn't see any sort of circle or anything like that, any permanent teleportation. Besides all these globes.
Yes, and what I guess I'll mention here is I would say you're pretty confident that trying something like this in the maze would have the highest chance of difficulty, as well as with the tower. So with the amount of power that Xanthal had and the way he sort of bends time and space in the maze and in his tower, you don't get the impression that there's going to be a spot that he would want people to be able to teleport in, and you've never heard of something like allowing one-way teleportation, right? Like you can leave, but you can't come back. It's generally, if it's available, it can go both ways.
Yeah, this might be a rough one. We might have to leave.
Do we have to sit here and wait for the dragon to murder all those people?
Well, it's already been at least 10 minutes, so you guys could peek out again if you want to see the status of how things are out there. But hard to say how long he'll stay.
It depends on why the dragon is here. If the dragon is here for us, it's probably going to wait us out as long as it has to. As far as we know, the only way out is through the village, so we know we have to go out that way. The cult probably knows, since they've been occupying this tower for who knows how long. They probably know we have to go that way. The longer we wait, the more we risk reinforcements. That said, I am not confident in our current ability to fight the dragon.
I think
So-
we get into the town, we find a room hidden. We do it from there.
So we need to
Is there a
retreat.
town left?
Well, there might be a room left. But so we need to retreat from the maze expeditiously. Does anyone have that laying around?
It'll let us out.
If we get a plus 10 to stealth, then we might be able to pull this off.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore.
So I will say this: I could burn a whole bunch of sorcery points by changing a bunch of my, I do have a bunch of second level. I have 3 of those, whatever. Right? I could make 3 people fly, and I can polymorph into my dragon form and fly. That would be 4 people. Just throwing that out there. I mean, it'd use up a lot of resources. I'm just throwing it out there as an idea.
But I like the idea of not flying because I mean, he could
The
catch
dragon will
us.
certainly
Yeah,
see us in
yeah.
the air.
We need to stealthily exit the maze, not be seen, so more like invisibility,
Oh.
and then we go into a room and we shut the fuck up, and then let Hugo do his special drawing on the floor.
I think Libby is right. I don't think there's going to be a room to go into. I think the whole town is going to be like on fire.
Well,
I think if we're doing that, we're going to have to like get outside the city limits without being seen and like hide in a forest or something.
take a quick peek.
Spectre should go. She's sneaky.
I would like to stealthily open the door and try to see what's going on.
Okay, go ahead and throw me a blind check. All right, as you open the door and look out, you can see that there are now 3 buildings that are wreathed in flames. 2 of them are barely standing. You can see that the upper floors, or the sort of support beams, are just barely there as the fire continues to burn. One more towards the north part of the village is completely burnt out. From this distance, it's hard to make out fine details, but you think you can see, thanks to the really bright flames on one of these buildings, 4 bodies nearby it. You can see some movement around the village and the ever-presence of the dragon sweeping over from left to right, from north to south, and breathing lightning down. Each time he does, this seems to engulf one of the homes, destroys it, and you can see a lot of destruction in that area.
They're not doing well. How about how big was the village? Like,
Are you
how
talking
many
about people, or are you talking about size, like feet by feet?
I mean, they're kind of related questions, like how many houses, like, if the dragon is going full scorched earth, like, so it's burned 3 houses in 10 minutes. So if there are like 50 houses, we got like, what, like an hour or something before the whole village is toast?
I would say on a quick glance of what you saw, you guess that there's 20 or less buildings in the village.
Okay, well, they're not going to keep it distracted for long, so if we have any chance of sneaking by it, it should be as soon as possible. The other option is we commit to fighting the dragon. We've beaten a few before, but we haven't been this low on resources for most of it. If we were to hole up in the tower, get a night's rest in, there's no guarantee that the cult won't reinforce the town with a bunch of people, and that making our jobs difficult. But if it's just the dragon, then we can at least go in with full HP, maybe a short rest. Would give us an opportunity for someone to attune to that dragon mask, which might be helpful against. It's a matching dragon, right? It's a blue dragon. We have the blue dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an option to put on the whiteboard. And hey, Adam, if I'm remembering description of the village, it's at the base of a mountain. Is it in like the valley of 2 mountains? Like, do we remember like there's a pasture or a place where we could possibly run to away from the village and hide?
I mean, there's plenty of places to go to. The question is, will you be able to get there unseen, right? So to give you a bit of a better view, actually, you know what I'll do? Let me just go ahead and throw you on this map real quick, just so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like.
Throw you on this map that I prepared because you guys are definitely going to have to fight the dragon.
No. Okay, so I'm going to actually remove dynamic lighting just momentarily, just because you guys aren't there. You don't have to move your tokens or anything. This just would be what you kind of remember from your time here in the village before you entered the tower. So this is the size of the village. This is what you've seen before. You can see that there's obviously some destruction already here based on the amount of time you guys have spent in the tower. So yeah, that's what you see. Where you are at on the map right now, your tokens in the lower right corner there, that's the path to the maze. So when you exit the maze, you would be exactly where your tokens are.
Okay, well, from what I see, the There are tree. Wait. Okay. So are these trees or are they the hedges?
Those are trees.
Okay. So is there like a forest like right next to us that we could?
And not right next to you, but there's certainly copses of trees, smatterings of trees all around in this area. So yeah, but not like big forest or anything.
Okay.
Man, those are two options. We try to pretend it's not happening, take care of ourselves, or we go down there now while the dragon's busy flying and swooping, and we sneak around somewhere and rely on stealth checks, and then he draws circle.
Actually, I see that as pretty much our only first option, right? We should have an A and a B. I think we should try the stealth thing first, and B is what the hell, right?
Well, if the stealth thing fails, we're fighting. So
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like, okay. So
Got any good berries? Hand them out now.
Could
Everyone
I
get your potions ready.
make more?
Yeah,
do you have a spell slot for Pass Without Trace? If you do that.
Yeah, I have 2 spell slots left, so
Okay.
And also keep in mind, invisibility won't work against dragon. We learned that.
Yes, I'm very familiar. Thank you,
your
Gale.
sword will work against it, though, Gale. I must hope it catches us.
So plan A, Armony casts Pass Without Trace on us. We try to get somewhere where the dragon may not see us. Hugo casts Teleportation Circle, and we get the fuck out of there. Plan B, that falls through because the dragon spots us from the air because it's a flying dragon with very high perception. And then Kertu casts Fly on Gale, and we hope we can kill it before it kills us.
Now
Because
we
it-
have PWT, our chances are greatly increased.
okay.
I just want to make it clear that if the dragon sees us, we are not going to be able to escape it. It will fly faster than any of us can run, even me.
100%, I agree. So it's all on you, Armani, and I give you a nice side hug. You could do it.
Okay. Well, I guess let's go for broke and whip up some good berries beforehand. Why not?
remember the good berries. I think, what does it do? Take a full action, Adam, to take one?
It does.
And we can only eat so many, right?
Yeah, generally, if you
Yeah.
have 2, no worries. If you eat a third one, then you're like getting to the point where you're super stuffed, and anything more than 3 is like not gonna help.
Yeah. Does anyone remember how many we've eaten so far today?
I have not. I have 2 in my hand that are probably rotten.
Well, has it been a full day?
No.
I look.
No, so remember, you guys have been moving through this area for a while. You guys entered the village. I want to say it was like morning, and it's late afternoon, early evening at this point. So you've really only been in here, say, 9 hours, something like that.
Okay, so
So-
I'll eat two good berries then.
Yeah, they last. So who has any left?
I think I ate one and I gave one to you.
To me?
At one point, I think.
Well, I have 4. So I
Hey,
can
Adam.
just disperse these.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and turn in 2 of my level 2s to grab some, and then I'm going to do some converting and everything. I'll use 7 to get a level 5.
For your time about
Sorcery
converting
points.
sorcery points? Okay.
Yeah. It'll take me 3 bonus actions, but we're not. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's not a worry right now.
I don't have any good berries on me by the look of it.
You can have 2.
I will go ahead and eat good berries until I feel like I've eaten 2 today. I don't remember if my character has eaten any.
I'm fine with saying you haven't. You can eat 2.
Okay. So that gives me 8 back. As good as we're getting. And we should each at least have 1 on hand in case we need to bring anyone back from unconsciousness. So how many do we have left?
I have 2.
Including the ones you just cast?
Well, I was wondering if I should cast it.
Oh, you haven't cast it yet. Okay. I mean, it's up to you. This is an all or nothing kind of situation. So if you think you're going to need that spell slot for something else in the middle of the fight, it's your call.
I have healing potion left. I can force that down someone's throat.
I'd say if you can still make the unicorn, then I would save it to trigger the unicorn if we have to fight.
Well, let me see if I got that back from our short rest. I'm actually... Oh, yeah. I got that back. So we're good there. I think I'll use Channel Divinity to get... to harness Divine Power. To get a little more spell action.
Okay, and is this is at least the second time you use this today, right?
No. Channel Divinity or Harness Divine Power?
Harness Divine Power.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay, and so you're at least a 6th level cleric, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this is your last time using Harness Divine Power until your next long rest.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
I think with Pass Without Trace, we have a good chance.
Yeah, for sure.
I also have a potion of invulnerability. Should we give that to like Hugo in the hopes that he'll complete his ritual?
Or Gale, if he's going to be all up in the business.
Gale's going to be up front. I think what happens if the dragon spots us is that there's 0 chance that Hugo's going to finish the ritual. And even if he does, everyone else is going to be dead. So, if it spots us before he finishes casting, unless it's like literally turn 9, you know, he's going to have to stop and...
Yeah. If I'm making it and I get blasted with a huge lightning bolt, I'm not sure if it'll go off.
To ritually cast, you have to maintain concentration the whole time, right?
You do, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's never happening. The dragon will see what you're doing, and he's gonna dive on you to stop you. So the second the dragon sees us, we have to turn and fight.
Okay, so who doesn't have any potions of healing?
I have 1 potion of healing. I'm good.
I had 1.
I believe Brian made me use mine when I wasn't here.
Okay, I'll give you 1.
Brian did fine playing my character. He made me use 1. See, I tell you, can't have it both ways, brother.
And does anybody else want a good berry on their person? Because I still have 2 here.
I mean, I'll take 1 just so I can bring people back up with it.
Okay. Somebody else want the other one?
Maybe you should keep it.
And
if you have nothing on your belt, put it on your belt so I'll know where to grab it, to give it to you in one action.
no problem. We'll do that. And I'm gonna give the potion of invulnerability to Gale.
How long does that last?
This is a standard potion of invulnerability, I'm assuming, Harmony?
Yeah.
1 minute.
Okay. And what does it do exactly?
Give you resistance to all damage.
That is not what invulnerability means to me, but okay. Yeah,
Well,
Gale
real
is
invulnerability would be a little bit too powerful, I think.
a little bit. Yeah. I just feel like whoever named that potion was trying to upsell it a little bit.
Absolutely. That was the marketing name right there.
Yeah. Their PR team. All right, Gale. Yeah, it should be you, because
Sold me on the purchase.
the longer you live, the worse day that dragon has if we end up fighting it. So
I will need that.
Hey, Adam, are we near a large body of water or a pond or something like that? I don't think so, but I wanted to ask.
By near, do you mean like 100, 200 feet, or are you talking like miles?
200 feet kind of thing.
No.
Okie doke.
what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking a what if thing, right? You know, what if I wind up, I mean, I'm just kind of trying to prepare, right? But if I turn into my wormling and try to drag him away, I can breathe underwater.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something that I could try to get him to chase me, and I probably have the better chance, but I mean, I'm sure he's going to be faster than me, but if I can get underwater or something like that, then, you know, maybe I have a chance to evade.
Underwater against an opponent that breathes lightning is an ambitious strategy. But,
Hey, brother, I'm not saying it's my best plan.
No, I get
you know, because I'm sure he's faster than me anyway, right? So I mean,
played a lot of Pokemon as a kid, and that doesn't sound like a recipe for success. But I'm glad we're exploring all our options.
exactly. I don't think it's a good plan, right?
So Pass Without Trace lasts for 1 hour. We should pop it here.
Agreed.
Teleport to the maze, and then we try to do very quietly.
Try to beat feet, get away from the village, somewhere where the dragon's not going to be able to see us.
I think that's a great plan. We should do it now by hopefully that he's busy killing other peoples than us.
while he's distracted, breathing his lightning in the houses.
Fortunately, pray to Eric for him.
All right. So do you want to burn that slot then, Army? We will assume that you have cast Pass Without Trace on your entire team here, which lasts an hour. And then you guys are making your way to the maze entrance and walking back to the village, correct?
Sneaking back.
You're sneaking.
Yeah, I don't like
to
the
sneak out the exit.
We're walking back. Hey, what's going on, guys?
I'm gonna have Harmony whip up those extra good berries too, because she doesn't have a lot of offensive spells, so
Nothing
Gonna
you do
burn
was
that too.
offensive, by the way. Offensive. Wait, what?
Okay.
so I'll burn those 2 spell slots, and she'll cast Pass Without Trace.
So just taking a quick look at your spells right now, Army, it looks like you have 0 remaining of first, or did you already burn that?
I had 0 remaining. I had to upcast Goodberry and upcast Pass Without Trace.
Okay, so once you're done with Pass Without Trace and Goodberry, all you have left is 1 4th level slot. Is that right?
Yeah, because that's my understanding that's what Harness Divine Power gives me is 4th.
Half your proficiency bonus rounded up. I think you guys' proficiency bonus is 5 right now.
4.
Oh,
4.
see, I was looking at the wrong place.
So
Good thing I
4
checked.
Is 2.
Okay, so 2.
yes, 2.
Sorry. I was looking at spell bonus.
But that's not an issue, right? Because you wanted to cast Pass Without Trace anyway, so you won't have to upcast it now, right? Because you got a 2 back instead of what you thought you were getting back. But either
Right.
way,
So then I'll just have a third level because that's
just
what
a
I had.
third. Okay.
Yeah.
So feel free to update your sheet there. So all right. Is there any other last minute preparations anybody wants to do before I move you guys over to the village map? Okay, hearing nothing, let's go ahead and get you guys to the village map. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lock tokens here. We're definitely going to put on some more up-tempo music, because who knows what could happen here.
All good.
Death and axes. That sounds appropriate. Okay, all right, so very much like your ally Spectre presumed, this dragon does indeed have very, very good eyes and can see quite a lot of stuff, and it is looking in that direction because it's expecting you guys to come out at some point. What that means is you guys each trying to avoid detection. We're going to do this as a group check. So the DC, I'm not even going to tell you the DC, and I'm going to have you guys all roll this publicly since this is a pretty crucial moment.
Yeah.
The DC for this is 26. So you're making a stealth check, DC 26. Remember, Pass Without Trace gives you 10.
And are we moving at half speed for like advantage or anything, or no?
So right now, this is like just as you guys exit the maze and get right here, we're seeing if the dragon spots you right away because he's looking right in your direction. So if he does, then we're going to start round one and we're going to go from there. If he does not, then you probably won't have to worry about it based on what I understand is your plan. Okay.
So
One failure.
I want to use my survival skill to go sneakily.
Unfortunately, no.
Can I use my if I use my inspiration, do I get the 8?
No, you get to re-roll.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll. I'm gonna use.
Hang on one sec now. I just want to make sure we're doing this for you fair. So you have heavy armor, which is giving you disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you would roll again, and then we would take 3, and then the number that you got. So hang on, let me think of the best way to do this.
Oh, okay.
So you roll an 8 and a 3, right? And disadvantage makes you take a 3. So you technically already had disadvantage. Now, if you used inspiration, that would allow you to re-roll, but because you have disadvantage on the check, even if you roll a 20, you still would have to take the lower number, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because inspiration would essentially cancel out your disadvantage from heavy armor, which is not going to do anything for you right now.
Okay, so in that case, I'm not going to spend it then.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so remember, there's 5 of you. You need 3 successes as a team to not be spotted.
I have plus 23 right now.
So you should be a success.
I have a 35.
Okay,
is that
so
enough?
That absolutely is enough. Yes, 26 is the DC. So
Can I give someone else my points?
No, unfortunately not.
Rip.
All right, so we got 1 success, 1 failure. Who wants to be the next guinea pig? 25, not quite.
Ugh.
Missed it by 1. So we've got 2 failures, 1 success. No pressure, no pressure. Who's next?
We're fighting, boys.
I'll go last because I want to decide if I'm going to burn my inspiration in this check or. Ugh.
We can't.
Wait, why do I have a -3 up there?
That
'Cause
is
you've
your
been
exhaustion.
knocked down a bunch.
Yeah, so Gale's roll essentially won't matter at this point. So that would be an 18. That would be a failure as well. So 1 success, 4 failures is a failure as a team. So as you guys exit the maze, you notice the dragon flying currently at about 40 feet in the air at the northern side of the village. It spots you, and that's where we're going to start combat.
Scatter.
Broach out.
And it looks like the scripts have just crashed one moment as I reset those.
It doesn't want you to kill us.
I know, maybe not. All right, that should reset momentarily. There we go. Man, it took a while this time. All right, so let me get you guys an initiative. Okay, so we have everybody in initiative. Those of you that have to roll a second time, go ahead and roll that second time, and we'll adjust initiative. Okay, so that is what it is. No order. Actually, order doesn't need to change by 1. We'll move Gale up 1. Okay, so we start at the top of the round with Spectre. So Spectre, you exit here with this shadowy magic coming off of Harmony, but unfortunately it seems as though the dragon pinpoints your location instantly as you exit the maze and starts coming right for you.
I would just like to clarify that it pinpoints everyone else's location.
That is true. Yes.
I succeeded, as I do. I see this happen. I mean, I could probably get away, but no one else is, and we need the mask. So where is the dragon right now?
He is on the north side of the village, 40 feet up in the air. If exact position is important to you, he is here.
Oh my god. 220 feet, huh?
Yes.
The range of a longbow is 150, I believe.
That sounds right.
So I will use my bonus action dash to make my movement speed 100. He's 120 away or 220 away from me. So I can get to a space right at the
Oh my goodness,
edge.
you're going off map, aren't you?
No.
Oh, okay. Appreciate
I'm
that.
actually
Thank you
not.
So much.
I'm going forward so I can get my Dread Ambusher round because I only get one shot at that.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
yeah. I will use the bonus action to dash to... I'm going to rely on you to help me because I can definitely see the dragon because it's in the air, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I will head that way and you tell me when I am within 150. Which should be 70, so 14 spaces, right?
You want to be within 150 feet of the enemy? That's what you're saying?
I want to be, yes. That's the range of a longbow, or the range without disadvantage.
So there's 150 feet from the dragon. So as long as you're there or more north of there, you're good.
I will go there. So I will move my token and trust that I have the distance. I have 100 feet.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then I'm going to make my 3 shots. They are all at advantage because the dragon has not acted an initiative yet.
Okay.
So here come those. Longbow repeating. 1, 2, and 3.
First 2 will manage to connect, however the third one will not.
Okay. So 19 on the first. And 11 on the second.
Okay, both arrows manage to pierce into the dragon's scales.
And then I have... So it took me 70 to get here. So I have 30 more feet. So I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, trying to take cover behind this tree.
Okay.
And then I will call out to the team, do your thing. Now's a great time for that potion, Gale. I will end my turn.
Okay. Gorto, you gonna make me fly?
And don't line up.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take action to drink the potion of the one that Armini gave me.
All right, so you drink the potion of invulnerability. So if that's still on your sheet, Armin, you can go ahead and remove that, and that is your action, Gale. Anything else?
No, I have a question. Can I run 2 I think I asked you this. My next turn, if I chug the potion of enlarge, would both potions be in effect?
Generally speaking, 2 potions isn't gonna have any issues. If you like chug a bunch of potions together, you might start to notice weird effects with all the magic trying to intermingle.
Okay, so I'm going to get really big, hopefully.
Didn't need to know that.
A bonus action. What can I do? Bonus action. Oh, I don't want to move because
What?
Kurtu has to touch me for fly, right?
Right, but I have movement as well. So I mean, if you move and
Okay.
then you know what I'm saying. So if you move some, then I'll move some to catch up to you. You know, just remember my short feet.
So they'll move 20 to there. Hopefully he sees me and attacks me. That'll do it. All right, I'm ready to fly now.
Okay, Hugo.
Okay. Hugo's gonna run up this way. And he's gonna ready an action to firebolt if the dragon comes in range.
And range is 120 feet.
Yep. No bonus action.
Okay. Kurtu.
All right, I'm gonna play tag. All right, that's on Gale. And then I'm going to go ahead and move this way. And that'll end my turn.
Okay, Harmony.
Harmony was rustling through her bag and found a scroll of protection from energy. So she'd like to cast that. Is there anything special that has to be done when you use a scroll?
As long as the spell is on your spell list, it should work pretty much just like other spells. Now this one is concentration, so obviously pass without trace will drop. I assume you don't care that one
Don't need it anymore.
Correct.
Okay, and that is on the cleric spell list as level 3. Yeah, so you can do that. And which energy type would you like to select?
Lightning, and I'll be casting that on myself.
All right, you have used your action to cast protection from energy from the scroll, and you are now resistant to lightning.
All right, I think that was 40. And Harmony says, "Good luck."
Here we go.
All right, the dragon swoops its mighty wings as it begins to fly. It flies overhead to here. That will trigger your readied action, Hugo.
Okay.
Crit it. Kill it with one hit.
Your firebolt sails wide as you try to pinpoint the dragon in its path. As it flies to here, it bellows out in the common tongue that easily all of you can hear. "The mask, fools! The mask is what I've come for. Give it to me, and I'll leave these crawling ants with their miserable lives. The queen is returning. Who are you to hope to stop her? Give me the mask."
I point at Hugo. Just kidding.
Spectre, your turn.
Okay. Where did you say the dragon was?
He is flying in the air from your current position behind the tree. You can't see him.
Unfortunate. Then, well, I doubt it's gonna work, but I will attempt to bonus action hide from the dragon to re-enable my sneak attack. and then ready in action to shoot his ass if I see him.
Okay, blind check for me.
I no longer have Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
All right. I'll stay put. I kind of like my position here at the moment.
Okay, Gale, your turn.
Okay, I reach on belt and take my potion of enlarge. And I'm gonna have to look up why I used it.
Okay, you drink the potion, enlarge, you double, you go to enlarged size creature, you have advantage of strength checks and strength saving throws, and your weapons also grow and deal an extra 1d4 damage.
Okay, do I get the bigger token?
You do, yes.
That's mostly what I'm looking for.
You big boy.
Oh no, I cast the wrong spell on him.
What did you do to me, Kurt?
Oh no.
All right, now that's my action. I am going to. What's my fly speed, Kurtu?
60, I think. Is that correct?
That sounds right.
Yep, 60.
All right. So it would be like 40 in the air and then 20 in a direction, right?
Well, you can fly on diagonals, so essentially, where do you want to go? You got 60 feet to get there. If you want to be a certain elevation when you get there, just declare that, as long as it's no more than 60 feet.
Oh, okay, copy that. I want to draw his ire. Are these columns here?
That is a house, a small building. That one specifically is like a shack.
All right, let me go up to 40 feet so maybe I can see village better.
On the map, you certainly won't, because unfortunately, Roll20 does not do 3D, but I can give you a little bit better description.
You see huts and fire.
And screaming people and dead people and a big fucking dragon.
All right, so you are now flying. So did you fly 40 feet straight up, or did you move to your current spot and
I
you're
moved.
40 feet?
Yeah, so diagonal. So I moved 20, I think, and then 40.
Okay, so you're where you're at now, but
Not
40 feet in the
calculator.
air, right?
Yes, I'm happy here. Yeah.
Okay, so from where you're at now, you can see over the entire village. You can see the dragon to your northwest, which I think you can see anyway on the map. He is flying also at 40 feet in the air at the moment.
Okay. Can I face step in while flying?
In what?
A face step, it's a point I can see, I guess. Would
Yeah.
it be air? Okay.
Do you still
I'll
have a
just
face step left?
Yeah, I have one left. I didn't. The last time we crossed the bridge, that's what they were talking about. But I
Yeah,
said I
that's-
had one left. Yeah.
That's what I thought when we talked last time. You said you had one left. I didn't think you
Yeah.
had any left.
Yeah, I have one left. All right, from there, I'm going to end my turn and hopefully get his attention, boys. I want to keep you close in case
Yeah.
I need to. Okay.
Okay, Hugo.
Okay. No, Hugo's not going to say anything about the mask. He's just going to shoot at it again.
Okay.
Another firebolt. Because it stopped at 120 feet, right? Basically.
It's flying towards this direction. Obviously, this is all in turn order, but yes, he is at the 120-foot mark at this point. That unfortunately will miss.
Dang it. And that is it.
Okay, Kurtu.
All right, Adam, I'm just going to go here and I'm going to ready an action that if that guy, if the baddie comes within 60 feet of me. Hopefully he doesn't. But if he does, I'm going to go ahead and cast Mind Sliver on him.
Okay.
And also, I yell out, "Go Dragons! This would be a good time to come and help."
A really good time, by the way.
All right.
Okay, Harmony.
From my vantage point, can I see the dragon?
You can not. Yes, you can. You're back far enough from the tree that you can see him. He's high up in the air, 40 feet or so, and he is currently 135 feet away from you.
That's far.
Indeed.
Okay, I'm gonna keep running. Does that change my vantage point at all?
I would say you can still see him. You can only see the upper half of him, though, because you're looking over a house now.
And he's not any closer, right?
He is not. If anything, 5 feet.
Okay.
Yep,
And I'm
he's
going
130 feet now.
I'm going to dash.
Okay.
And I assume this dynamic lighting is correct, that this would be a difficult place to see my compatriots.
I mean, from where you are at on the ground, yes.
Okay. Oh well. I think that is it.
Okay. He is going to fly, and as he does, he once again shouts out, "Fools, you all shall perish." And as he flies overhead to here, he'll actually be here. He flies overhead to here and unleashes his breath weapon at Kurtu specifically. Kurtu, I will need a dex save.
Did I get? I could see his token move. Do I get my shot?
If you shoot from there, you can. I would say he definitely is getting cover because you're behind the tree. You barely would have much angle on him at all.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, I gotta let it go.
Adam, I don't see him.
So he is currently flying in the air. So where you're at, he's been watching you this whole time. You've moved there. His eyes have been on you. He's flying in the air, and a bolt of lightning shatters through this house right towards you.
All right, let's first do this. I'll use up my last first level because absorb elements is going to be important for me, right?
Okay, and that also uses your reaction, so you no longer have your ready action.
Yep. And then I'll go ahead and do my dex save.
That is going to fail, so you'll take half damage thanks to absorb elements. Yep, lightning. Okay, so you will take half of this. So that will be 33 points of lightning damage. Okay.
All right, let's see if I can. Oh, I was just going to say, yeah. Ouch.
Gale, you will fall 40 feet down to the ground. Please roll 4d6. Suffering 17 points of damage as you smash into the ground and become prone.
Does the potion of invulnerability...
Actually, believe it or not, this is one of the corner cases in the rules, but falling damage doesn't have a damage type, so it affects everybody. So, yeah, that won't.
Clearly
affect it.
bludgeoning.
You would think
feel
so.
like it's
Honestly, I
bludgeoning.
thought it would be too, but it's funny. In Tomb of Annihilation, this is like an official module. There's lycanthropes in there, right? They're immune to all damage, and it says no. If they fall, they take damage because it's untyped damage. That's the only reason I even know that.
Crazy.
Indeed, yeah. So falling damage is like in its own special little category. Okay, so that's the lightning bolt strikes Kurtu. He is wounded by that. Gale falls to the ground. From there, the dragon will continue to move. To there. Okay, during that flyover time, Spectre, you see the dragon and you can take your readied action.
Can I measure real quick to see if it's worth it? Can I like eyeball it? I'm an 11th level archer.
He was at 145 feet away from you when he flew through.
Okay, so I will take this shot. I don't know if I have sneak attack or not because that's up to his perception. But
He did
I will.
indeed spot you, so you do not.
Okay, I will take the shot. Anyway,
Okay.
use it or lose it, right?
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay,
crit him.
nice.
So, piercing crit.
Yes.
Critical hit.
Okay, so
Okay,
true
so-
crit, so we will give 12 points of damage.
Okay.
Okay, so the arrow punctures into the dragon's wing, wounding him once again. All right, so that's your reaction. I don't think anybody else had a reaction that would apply here, so that is the end of the round. Spectre.
All right. If he's in the same place I shot him, or did I shoot him at a different time?
You shot him slightly different, but you still have line of sight on him.
I still have a clear shot. I'm gonna steady aim for advantage, and I'm gonna shoot him again.
Okay.
I'm all out of spell slots, so I got whack and second whack, basically.
Okay.
That should
That'll
hit for a total of 22. And then my
Yes,
second
he's
shot. Yeah, second shot
Will also
will
hit.
also hit. We're on the same page here for another 14.
Indeed, yes. Both arrows chunk away at the dragon's health.
Yeah. Steady aim takes all my movement, so I can't do anything else. So that is my turn.
All right, after your turn, but before Gale's turn, the dragon
Oh, he's
is
fucking
going
mad at me.
to fly to there. Okay, Gale, your turn. The dragon has descended as he's flying here. He is now 10 feet off the ground.
Great. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35, 10, 15, 20, 25. Ugh.
Remember, you're currently prone from the fall, Gale.
Oh, yeah. That's not going to happen then. I can't reach him even if I dashed and face stepped. I just don't want to line up with those
And
guys
he's 10
down
feet
there.
in the air, so even if you got
Yeah.
one, you wouldn't be able to reach him.
But I'm pretty big. That's what I was hoping for.
Let me double check. I don't think enlarge gives you reach.
Yeah, it doesn't. It says your weapons grow to match your new size, but it doesn't say anything about reach specifically.
Right.
Okay, so I stood up. So there I did that.
Okay, so that uses half your movement.
I told you I needed boots of flying one. I just don't want to line up for his lightning breath. Alright, fine. How far can I throw javelin?
Pretty far if you're willing to throw it at disadvantage. I think it's 3120, is that one?
Yeah, 3120. I just opened the gear cog. Okay. 30. Well, fine. I'm going to get one in then. So maybe I could roll 15. So it'll be 5, 10, 15. And then if I face up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There. The 5, 10, 15, 20. No. Besides, I mean, how realistically am I going to sheath my sword, grab a javelin that's on my back?
Right, you wouldn't be able to do that. So if sword's in hand, you'd have to drop it to the ground in order to interact.
Yeah.
I think we want to keep that sword.
He just
This
like,
time.
oh, yoink, have the mask. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh my god. So then I'm going to try this. Watch out, Hugo. I'm going to move. So that's 5, 10. Wait, 15. There's like a tree. I don't want to burn, but that's where I could move. Am I not going to burn?
Yeah, as long as you don't take any more steps north, you're not going to burn.
Okay. And then I'm going to take the dodge action.
Okay.
Fighter's useless at this range. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, at the end of your turn, Gale, but before Hugo's turn, the dragon will use a legendary action to attack Harmony with its tail. Harmony, defense roll, please.
Holy shit, she got all the way over there?
She's speedy.
I guess.
Sorry, I'm doing defense roll.
Yes. Yes, that will indeed smash into you here, Harmony, and you will take 20 points of bludgeoning damage. And go ahead and apply that. It will automatically roll a concentration. You still manage to maintain your concentration and protection from energy. Hugo, your turn.
Yeah, can I ask a quick question? Does that take into account my my like Warcaster thing? Just for future reference.
The automatic concentration, I don't think it does. So if that fails, you would just roll another time.
Cool, thank you.
Yep, yeah, good pointing that out.
I think that's inspiration worthy.
If it wasn't in a really tight battle like this, maybe. But Hugo.
So did we? Is Hugo able to see like the dragon where it's going? Because right now I have like bad vision.
So keep in mind that you're looking to the west for the dragon. The dragon flew downwards. So right now, from your vantage point, this tree is towering over you. You can't see the dragon.
Okay.
Harmony says, it's over here!
Okay, thank you. Ugh, all right. And Hugo starts running that direction.
You hear that voice coming from a generally west direction.
You can see Harmony. What's happening?
Well, it's it's right in front of me, 10 feet off the ground.
I would say based on its size, you probably can notice little pebbles and bits of rock and stuff near Harmony's feet moving. Based on what you can see and what you can't see right now, Hugo, you presume it has to be north of her.
Bummer.
Show
I moved
point.
30. All right. Hugo just readies an action to cast Firebolt if he sees the dragon.
Okay.
And then no, she's too far away. I can't do it. All right, that's the end.
Okay, Kurtu.
All right, since I can see the tip of him at him, I'm going to go ahead and cast Fireball.
Okay.
Since it's only one creature, do you want me to...
You don't need to.
Yeah. So I'm going to use my level 5. That'll end my level 5s, but
Okay.
that's what I'm going to cast it at.
Use it while we're alive. For sure.
Hey, going up in a flame of glory somehow, right? So...
Okay, so we've got 20, 32, 37, and a spell effect roll, please.
And also, yeah, so you added those ones in there. Okay, all right.
No, I did not. So 37, your ones become twos, is that right?
Yeah, everything should become 6s, but that's a whole different story today. So
So
yeah.
39 total. That would normally fully affect him. However, he's going to use one of his legendary resistances to only take half damage. So he will take 19.
Hey, it's something, right? May not be as good as an arrow, but that's okay, right?
The
So
fireball explodes, I presume, sort of like north of the dragon, wounding him and not hitting anything else of significance.
yeah, up in the air or whatever needs to happen just so I get him,
Yep.
kind of thing, right? So, and then I'm gonna go ahead, Adam. Are these trees kind of high up or whatever?
are.
I mean, can I
The
can I
one
go
to
and
your
hide
east is
underneath
like
them?
20 feet tall. The one to your west is like 15 feet tall. So if you're in between the two of them, I mean, again, you just saw a lightning bolt break through a house and smash into you, so you don't think it would protect you from a lightning breath, but from like physically getting near you, it would be more challenging, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? So I'm gonna go actually down here, here, and here, and I'll end my turn there.
Okay. Harmony, dangerously close to the dragon. Your turn.
If I wild shape, do I lose concentration?
No.
All right. I'm going to. Can I sacred flame and then wild shape?
Wild shape for you is an action because you're not a moon druid, so no.
Oh. Well, I will wild shape to
Okay.
a panther.
Wild shape into the... Oh, to a panther? Have we used panther before? I don't think we have.
I thought I had.
I was looking at the tokens. I see I've got Axebeak and Giant Badger there for you. Don't see Panther, but no worries. That's pretty easy to whip up. Okay, so wild shape to a Panther, and you will become a Panther. I'll get that set up for you with the token and all of that. Once you become a Panther, what would you like to do?
Run.
Okay, so I'm going to give this Panther token vision. And let me see, does the Panther have dark vision? It does not, so we're just going to give you regular vision. I'm going to set your token to the GM layer army. I'm going to put the Panther token in its place. You should now be able to move the Panther token. And I'm also going to move this character sheet into your folder so you have easy access to it. And you should be all set.
Great.
Okay, so got you all set. All right, so you wild shaped as an action, and then you move away. As you do leave the reach of the dragon, so it's going to use its reaction to attack you with its tail. So go ahead and give me a defense roll now as the Panther. As a reminder, with the tokens of the Panther selected, you're going to want to use NPC defense roll.
Whoops, I did that wrong.
Okay, the dragon manages to smash you with its tail just as you're trying to skirt out of there. That will deal 20 points of damage. Unfortunately, that's going to immediately knock you out of Panther form with 5 carryover damage to Armony. Go ahead and take the Panther out of there, put Armony in its place, bring her back to the screen, and you can go ahead and remove 5 HP from Armony, and then you should be all set. Okay, so that was your action. That was some movement. Anything else, Armony? Okay, Dragon's turn. Let's see. Gale, go ahead and roll me a d6, please.
Great, because I have sword. Let's go for a low roll.
He's trying to figure out if he recharges.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Dragon does not recharge.
The dragon
He chokes on his vomit.
is going to fly to here. Actually, he's going to fly to here. And once he does, he is going to lash out at you, Armony, 3 times. I will need 3 defense rolls, please.
He's a bully.
He is.
He's so mean.
All 3 of those are going to hit, so that's
Wait,
going to be...
I don't know why they're still saying panther. It's weird.
Did you have your token selected when you did so?
Maybe not. I don't know how I had one selected that I can't see. But yeah, it looks like I'm selected now.
Let me just do a quick double check on your armor class. So it looks to me like that should be 1 better on all of those rolls. It did indeed use the panther. So, but if we increase each of those rolls by 1, it is still going to hit you all 3 times, unfortunately. So, all right, here comes the damage. All right, so we've got 2 claws for 26 and a bite for 28 for a total of 54 points of damage to Harmony. Harmony, that is going to drop you to... Oh, actually, wait, I take that back. You currently have resistance, so we'll cut that lightning in half. So that's going to be 51, but unfortunately that's still enough to drop you to the ground. Okay, so you guys notice Harmony takes 3 attacks in rapid succession, a claw, and a bite. After the dragon does that, it is going to then fly over to here. And you notice it sort of flies up over the building and then dips down behind it. And then we move to the top of the round with Spectre.
All right. 70. Well, I can't see the dragon right now, but I saw it dip down.
From your position, I would say you saw it in this area, and it flew over this building to the other side of the building.
Okay. Well, I gotta get to... I think the best thing I can do this turn is get to Harmony and get her back up.
So if you move through the wooden pieces, consider that difficult terrain. And obviously, if you step into any of the spaces that have red on it, you are going to get burned. Like
Can I go through...
red, not the little tiny sticker red.
Is this an acceptable path? I can't see if there's a wood piece under Gale. Is he engaged right now?
Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah. He is not engaged. No, you're good with that. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to go that way, and then 5 more. I'll have to bonus action dash to get here, obviously.
Okay.
So that's a total of 65?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So I will use my action then to administer... I guess for Goodberry, because it's not going to matter how much HP she has. She's going to go down in another hit anyway. If she gets hit, so I will use the Goodberry that she gave me off her belt. I now have 1 potion there, and I have 15 more feet, so Harmony gets healed for 4, I believe, because that's her...
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I have 15 more feet, so I will go here and trust other people to move accordingly to not take massive lightning damage.
So I'm just going to run or chase the dragon. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to go straight there. I think safe, right?
That would be 35 because you're moving through that stick, so call one of those difficult terrain. So you can
I think
move
he's
back
big
5.
though. Can he just like step over it?
Not without difficult terrain. Actually, I was going to say because he's big, it might be 2 spaces of difficult terrain, but we'll just call it 1.
I feel like a big guy can like step over a house, but you know, whatever.
It's a burning, dangerous house, though. It's just like 5 feet of speed, you know.
All right, I'm going to dash. So 5, 10, 15, 20 there.
Okay.
25. And then I will go 30 here.
Okay.
And I'm not dropping my sword at him.
Okay.
I would love to action surge, but I do not have that. That's my action and bonus action dash. He's at 10 feet.
He is at 10 feet, yes.
Let me take my dodge out of there. Okay. I can't do nothing. I can't even ready an action. I have actions, but
well, you action dash, right? So you don't actually have an action.
Yeah, you're right. Just a bonus. That's right. I mean, God, I'd love to face step on top of that building, but I just don't have an action worth doing it. So, come at me, bro.
Isn't
All
face
right.
step a bonus action?
I think
Yeah,
he
but
means to
that
use
doesn't
that
do
and
any.
then use something else right
Oh,
after.
yeah, I gotcha.
Otherwise, he's gone.
All right, Hugo.
Okay, so I don't want to line up, so Hugo's actually just going to run, I guess, to the north. Okay, and from here, gonna ready another firebolt.
If you see the dragon.
Yes.
Okay.
No, a gale. No, yeah, yeah. If I see the dragon, firebolt.
Okay, Kurtu.
All right, Adam, I'm going to go ahead and dash then.
Okay.
All right, I see my nemesis there. So my dash is going to be into the tree bush. Well, shoot. I'm going to come back this way, Adam.
Okay.
That'll end my turn.
Okay, Armony currently prone. I have another level of exhaustion running. What would you like to do?
Stand up.
Okay, uses half your speed.
Harmony is going to summon a spirit totem.
All right, that's the unicorn. Okay.
And drop that basically and may I wild shape as well?
So that was a bonus action. So yes, you have one extra wild shape left that you could use.
Great, let's do it. Back to the panther.
All right. All right, well, we have it ready now. So let's see, Panther. We're going to send Harmony to GM. Put the Panther in its place and make sure the Panther has vision. Okay, so that is your action and bonus action. Anything else?
Flee.
Okay, the Panther beats a quick retreat. Kurtu, please roll me a d6.
I figured I may be good for that one.
Last one.
All right, so very intelligent opponent is going to fly over the building to here. And once it gets to here, it is going to attack Hugo, and I will need 3 defense rolls, Hugo.
Do I get my ready
You do.
firebolt?
Yep, as he's coming at you, you absolutely do, yep. That will manage to hit.
Good shit.
Oh my god.
Less good shit.
Scorching his fingernail.
3d10, man.
That was a warning.
There's more to come. I've got another one.
Okay, sorry. How many defense rolls?
3 defense rolls, please. You evade the claw. Evade the second claw. But are hit by the bite.
Can I use my inspiration on that last one?
You can. Yep, go ahead and re-roll another defense roll. Yes, you managed to evade the
Oh.
bite as well.
Nice.
Haha.
Gail's turn.
How mad is this dragon?
Hard to say through the tree.
I can't see him, but you know. So I'm gonna start moving. 5, 10, 15. I see him. Do I have a clear shot?
You do, yes.
Okay. I will make my shots. I moved, so I can't steady aim. But there are combatants next to him, so if one hits, I do get sneak. 1 and 2.
They shall both miss.
Yep. And then I will, I suppose, I kind of want to stay in the aura, but I also don't want to eat a lightning bolt to the face. So,
Options.
yeah. I think I moved 15 total. Virtue's there. If I move back, there's not really a good spot to go. I will just go back to more or less where I was. So 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Trying to triangulate this a little bit. And then I guess I will attempt my bonus action hide again. Probably should have done that first, but you know, whatever.
All right, blind check.
Have it for the next time.
Okay. All right, at the end of your turn, but before Gale's turn, the dragon is going to beat its wings furiously. I'll need a dexterity saving throw from both Harmony and from Hugo. Hugo shall fail. And Harmony, you'll be making it as the Panther, of course. Okay, Harmony as the Panther manages to succeed. Okay, so Hugo, you will take 14 points of bludgeoning damage, and you get knocked prone.
Okay.
After that, the dragon flies up into the air to here.
So as it's leaving, I get a opportunity attack?
If you wish to, yes.
Of course.
Wow.
Yes, that will hit. The panther manages to slam its jaws on the dragon's leg as it's trying to fly away.
Do I hit the
Click
attack?
on the word
word?
attack there in chat, and it should post damage for you. All right, yes, you get a little bite off on its leg.
I assume I don't get any of my benefits that I would have if I were not in panther form.
What kind of benefit are you referring to?
Specifically, blessed strikes with additional radiant damage because I'm so holy.
I don't think so, but let me double check Blood Strikes. Based on the wording, yeah, sure, why not? Go ahead and roll a d8 and we'll apply that.
It is a natural weapon.
I mean, yeah, it is a weapon attack.
Yeah, I'm still rolling hot.
All right, Gale,
Every point
your
matters.
turn. As you've noticed before, Gale, these dragons seem to definitely be onto you, knowing that you're a very deadly threat and trying to avoid you at all costs. Your turn.
And I don't have flying boots. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm a little winded from all these games. Let's see, how far? I might burn my... No, I still can't reach him.
And he's currently 40 feet in the air.
Oh, good. That's very smart player. Okay. I'm going to go, then I'm going to use my bonus action dash 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and because of that log, I'm stuck. Because even though I'm large, that little stick interrupted my
Large
feet.
and in charge.
Even if I bonus face step him, I can't get within melee with him. He's so scared of me. Come here, you worm, and fight like a man.
All right, Hugo, from your back, you look up. Your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm going to stand up. And just keep shooting fire bolts.
All right.
Oh,
yeah, let's
that's all I got.
Don't you have like Toll the Dead or something that would get you
I
guaranteed?
do, but it's 60 feet
Oh,
range. And that's a little too close for comfort. So
That will hit.
that's better.
more like it.
Wounding the dragon once again.
And Hugo will. Hugo has the dragon mask, right?
Yes.
He will take it out and
No! I'm gonna yell, no! Hide it!
As you take it out, the dragon's eyes do notice it, and you notice its teeth snarl back in a bit of a smock humor laugh.
and he's gonna go to there and he's gonna toss it to Gale.
Gale trips over the massive burning log and loses the mask in the... No, I'm kidding. Okay, you have the mask bobbling in your hands, but both hands are full, so I imagine you're kind of clutching to your chest to make sure it doesn't drop.
Oh, yeah.
Come and get it, big boy.
That's actually kind of smart.
And as I guess a bonus action, I'll telekinetically pull Gale one step closer towards me.
Gale, I assume you don't resist?
Yep. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, that's the end of his turn.
Okay, Kurtu.
Oh, let's see if we can play Ring Around the Rosie again. I'm assuming I have no clue where it is, Adam. I mean, it's been flying around, but I don't know how the dynamic lighting is compared to
Have
him
you
flying
been
up and
paying
down.
attention to where it's at? Like, do you, as a player, have an idea of where it's at?
I have a general idea, but it's all black for me there. Right? You know,
Yes.
Everything's black.
So that's all right. So essentially what it is you have an idea of where you think he is, but you can't see him because you're behind a tree.
Okay.
I love that question. Have you been paying attention as though Kurtu is focused on something other than the...
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just-
sometimes players will be like, "Oh, I had to step away to grab a drink or something," and then I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, here's what you would have saw."
yeah. You mean
Yeah.
out of character? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just like the question of in character. Kurtu's just like wandering off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I just don't know if I would have seen it in between the trees and everything, you know, as he was flying around and stuff. I mean,
I
it's
would
just
say from
completely
where you
black.
were at, no, because you were basically hugging that tree's trunk, right? And it's a pretty big tree, so it's blocking pretty much all your vision.
Okay.
I imagine it's making a lot of noise though. It's a
Sure.
huge flying reptile.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the... Well, actually, I'll just go ahead and I'll ready an action too. I'll see if I can outdo the firebolt that, Hugo just gave, although it looked pretty good.
Okay. All right, Panther.
Okay. Panther's gonna start running away again. I think I can get that far, right?
With some panther jumping and hopping, sure.
Um. Actually, so I'll dash because there's not much I can do in this form.
Okay.
Like here-ish?
Okay, so move and a dash. All right, on the dragon's turn, let's see, who hasn't had a chance yet? How about Spectre? Roll me a d6.
66% of the time, this works every time. Nope.
Nice.
All right, the dragon shall come to here as it flies downwards. And, ooh, it's going to have me 5 feet closer. And it's going to breathe out a line of lightning like this, which is going to hit Hugo, Gale, and Kurtu. I'll need dex saves from the 3 of you.
My bad,
Hey.
boys.
Before
gonna
that,
come-
though, Adam, let me go ahead and say this. Bam!
All
Burn,
right,
baby,
post damage.
burn. That's right.
The
That's
dragon
burning.
is wounded.
And now I'll die.
Only if you roll really bad or it rolls really good.
Hey, Adam, since that there was my action, do I still get a reaction?
You do not. Because you readied
Yeah.
an action, you used it to cast
Yeah.
the spell, so you don't have a reaction.
That
I'm
was
gonna-
one of those that I kind of knew the answer to.
I'm
But
going to use inspiration.
Okay. Okay, so Gale, Kurtu will fail. Hugo, you will succeed. So Gale and Kurtu suffer full damage. And Hugo is half. So let's just do this in order, starting with Hugo.
Gale does have his invulnerability
Yeah.
potion, though.
I was going to mention it when he did my damage.
So half of that will be 32 damage to Hugo. Next is Gale. 45
Oh,
damage to Gale
yeah.
since he used the invulnerability. And then here's Kurtu. 82 damage to Kurtu. So not dead, but certainly knocked to the ground.
Right.
As this bolt of lightning arcs through and just ravages your team, the dragon will then fly backwards.
anyone ever had fried cobalt before?
All right, Spectre, your turn.
All right. I saw the dragon shoot. I didn't see any of my companions go down. But Harmony
Not
is
from
over
behind the
there.
tree. No.
Yeah. So I don't think she knows. So I'm gonna go after the dragon. 5, 10, 15, 20. Is he up in the air?
He is in the trees at the moment.
In the trees. So he has some kind of cover,
He does.
you would say?
Yeah, so he's flying. Think of this at like the 25-foot mark, and he is like braced in between these two tree trunks.
Okay. Well, I can't do nothing, so I'm gonna try to shoot him anyway.
Okay.
Once again, I don't know if my hide affected anything, but
He was able to spot you as you came around the corner.
okay.
26 passive perception is pretty hard to beat.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone can,
It would
Vector
be you
can,
for
but
sure.
yeah. But yeah, I'll take my 2 shots. I know he gets cover and etc.
The first will miss, but the second will connect,
All right. So 11.
wounding him once again.
All right. That was 20. So I'm going to continue moving. 5, 10, 15, 20. And I will bonus action dash. I don't think this hide is going to ever do anything. So 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And you know what? We'll make it a clean 40
Okay.
right here.
Okay, at the end of your turn, but before Gale's turn, the dragon will beat its wings once again furiously as it flies to the north. Gale, your turn.
Kind of meta here, but I don't, because she's not a moon druid, she can't cast spells in wild shape, right?
Kind of meta, but yeah. And even
Yeah, okay.
moon druids can't do that unless they're super high level.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. So healing is not an option. Okay. I'm going to keep the mask underneath my shield arm part.
Okay.
You'll hold it against my chest, and I will go, excuse me, Hugo, 5, 10, 15, 20. Go there, and I'm going to let go of my elbow against my rib cage, and the mask will drop to my feet,
Okay.
and I will say, come get it. And then with an action, I'm going to ready my attacks.
Okay. Hugo.
Okay. Like twitching from the electricity, Hugo's going to move up. Okay. So I didn't see it.
You do not, no.
Shoot. So Hugo will action dash.
Okay.
Oh, hello. And he will, I guess, use his action surge.
All right, go ahead and burn that.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. It says I don't have any.
That's actually what I was thinking too. When I was like, burn it, I was waiting for it to say, you don't have any of those.
Damn. Okay. So he goes, "Hey, we got your mask over here. Don't run just yet." And I will
And I
move
will
back.
say from where you're at, as you're shouting this out, you can see that the dragon is clearly getting ready to beat it quickly to the north and out of here.
And that's it, because he's not within 30 feet of me.
Okay, Kurtu. Death save to GM, please. Okay, and we won't share that result with the players. Panther's turn.
Gonna lick his wounds.
The panther licks his face. Oh,
Can a panther do a medicine check?
I mean, I
Can
feel
a
like
pa-
that's stretching it pretty far.
can a panther pick up a good berry and drop it in somebody's mouth?
I would say no, because you don't have opposable thumbs, and like, you know, that would be really challenging.
Just using his teeth.
If it was like on the ground, then maybe, right? But if it's in a pouch or something, I can't imagine in 6 seconds him opening a pouch with his teeth.
Could open his
You
pouch
just-
with a claw.
You just rip it. Yeah.
All right, okay. So
Okay,
here's the
we
deal.
will-
Kurtu, your bag of holding is torn again, but you gotta. No, I'm kidding.
What?
You-
I wanted my bag of holding to last the game.
Do you have
Um,
do you have any spell slots left?
One. So I'm going to leave wild shape, or whatever the terminology is, to revert to my normal form.
Okay, you can revert to your normal form using a bonus action. Okay, so you turn back to your Harmony form. Let me go ahead and get Harmony back in here. Okay, so that was a bonus action.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't pressing the button. I'm going to pour a potion of healing into Kurtu's mouth.
Okay, Kurtu, go ahead. And, is that just a regular 2d4 plus 2 one?
Yep.
All right, so Kurtu, go ahead and roll that. Nice, 10 HP back for Kurtu. So that's your action.
That's so much better than it would have been for if I had done it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm probably gonna roll ones, but you know, hey, I'm not, you know, good. Thank you.
I guess I'll just kind of like step over here.
All right, and Hugo, much as you expected, based on the posture of the dragon, it looks like it has no desire to try to fight to the death here, and it's very badly wounded, so it is going to fly 160 feet to the north, which effectively puts it out of you guys' range. If anybody has anything that they can do that is going to affect something that far away quickly, actually it would just be Spectre, because after Spectre's turn, it's going to move another 40 feet. Pretty sure this puts it beyond range from anybody being able to touch it, but happy to hear if anybody feels like they have something.
I mean, long range for longbows is 600 feet, so I don't think I'm going to be able to kill it at long range.
I honestly don't
but
think you're even going to be able to get a shot at it because you're going to have to try to move through trees to get a line of sight at it. And where it's at right now, it's behind cover at the northern tip of the map.
whatever.
It
Uh,
would-
So no.
the only thing I would have would mean that we wouldn't teleport out of here until we long rested.
And I vote no. We're getting the fuck out.
Okay.
Yeah, we're leaving.
All right. So not hearing
yeah, but
anything obvious then. Is everybody in favor? We'll exit battle here.
Yeah.
Kurtu raises his hand, but nobody can see it because he's so short.
I mean, my turn would be to come around the tree and see if I could see the dragon, but if I can't, yeah, it's gone.
All right, you do that. You come around the corner. You don't see the dragon. Your team has survived this battle. Once again, very badly shook up from a very powerful dragon's breath weapon. A couple of you guys are very badly hurt at the moment, but it seems as though you've scared it off. And folks, that's where we'll go ahead and pause, take our 15-minute break. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Good job, everybody.
Holy
Nice.
ass, people.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the second half of the session. So, quick summary of what occurred here. Team, after fighting this battle at the village of Xonthal's Tower, you made use of Hugo's teleportation circle and transported back to Waterdeep. Once there, you quickly informed the council, along with Delan and the other individuals there associated with the council, of what has occurred in Xonthal's Tower and handed over the blue dragon mask to the council for them to take a look at it and have an understanding of what it does. You were allowed a well-deserved rest period, as you had essentially a day, but they asked you to come back the next day for a very important meeting of the council. So as you guys went back to very lavish accommodations in one of the more upper scale inns here in Waterdeep, you then made your way to the council chambers for that council session. As you guys have arrived in the council chambers, you notice that the staff here seems to be very much on edge. They're all moving about very busily. You can see they're all very worried about something. It seems as though everybody in the council members themselves are kind of on edge, as in all their staff are kind of moving around. It's everybody's sort of at the edge of a blade at the moment. As you arrive at the council, you're quickly escorted in. You notice that the council here is sitting and they are seemingly awaiting your arrival. As you guys arrive and you're quickly escorted in via the guards and attendants, you notice that sitting before the council is all of the regular players that you have seen in the past. As a quick reminder of some of these folks, there's a representative from the Harpers, from the Order of the Gauntlet. There is a representative from the Everald Enclave. There's Lady Laryl Silverhand. There's Lord Neverember. There is Conrad Braun Anvil. There's King Melindrek, the elf of the forest you guys had previous encounters with. There's Alder Ravengard. There's Taryn Hornblade, and there's Sir Istival. All of these individuals on the council. You notice that Alder Ravengard, once again, seems to be the one who is addressing you. And as he does so, he motions for the servants to bring up some chairs. And you guys are essentially invited to sit at the council table with the rest of the counselors as they sort of push things back. As each of you is eventually seated, Alder Ravengard looks towards you all and seemingly sort of reciting information in his mind, or maybe just going over a tally kind of thing in his head. He eventually looks to all of you and says, "All right, the information we've been able to gather from all of our different contacts, from all of our resources everywhere, along with the information that you have provided as well, leads us to believe that the task that the cult has taken to bring Tiamat into Faerun is nearing its completion. They have gathered a massive amount of treasure. They have gathered many, many adversaries of ours together in a collective of enemies. They have a lot of power at their disposal. We have some very difficult decisions to make moving forward, and we wish for each of you to have your say in this as well. I know at different points in time, your decisions or your view of this council may have not been as positive as perhaps we would have liked, but there is no doubting that you have been very successful in the missions that we have sent you on. You have done well in bringing our aims to mean to bring things forward to a righteous end, hopefully. There is a lot riding on this, as you I'm sure are aware. There is a few things we must address immediately. First, and you see he now shuffles some paper and slips one paper out, this piece of parchment that looks heavily scrawled upon, slips it to his side and says, "A bit of unfortunate news. The mask that you brought back, I'm told it was a fake. It seems as though there was some magical enchantment layered upon it to make it appear to be the blue dragon mask, but it is not. It is simply a well-designed piece of artwork at this point with no real magical powers. That is unfortunate, as we had hoped it would give us some kind of edge against the cult. Instead, it turned out to be a wild goose chase. The second thing is there is a very large decision that is before us, and you notice almost like this wave of tension now goes through the counselors here. Many of us are quite divided on how to move forward. You will likely recall that previously when you were before us, you had mentioned this arrangement with the metallic dragons and what exactly that could mean for our Sword Coast. What could it mean for our alliance against the cult? There has been some disagreement even amongst this council about exactly what we should agree with the dragon. So I will just say that our council has considered the different requests of the metallic dragons, share of treasure and so forth, and we have voted amongst ourselves and we agree that it makes sense to get their aid. Otherwise we don't think we're going to be very successful. So with that in mind, we did indeed reach out to our contacts, who we knew that could get us before the Metallic Dragon Council, and we made those arrangements. The share of treasure is significant, and unfortunately, it is going to mean that certain areas of the Sword Coast are not going to have the support, the resources they need to recover after this long war effort. But we don't seem that there is any other choice. And you notice again, some of the counselors, you can get the impression they don't all agree with this. They're kind of just, some of them are shifting in their seats at this, some are tapping their hands, that sort of thing. Alder Ravengard looks again at some more paper and he says, but the most important issue that is brought for us that we must address immediately is some additional information that has come to bear. Our forces are not going to be enough to defeat what they have gathered there at the Well of Dragons. This is going to be very challenging for us. We have gotten some scouting reports. It's exactly what they have at their disposal. This consists of somewhere between 24 and 40 chromatic dragons, a legion, perhaps 120 so, of devils. There is known to be at least 12 giants in their forces, approximately 8,000 soldiers, mercenaries that they have hired. There are red wizards working at their disposal. We believe that they have the full and complete mask of the Dragon Queen. Their leader, of course, Severin, as well as some of his closest lieutenants, leaders of the cult, and in addition to the mercenary forces, there are many of their own cultist troops. This force is overwhelming, and we're going to need all of the help that we can get. So far, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Emerald Enclave, the Harpers, the Metallic Dragons, certain individual giants on our side that we've been able to call for some assistance, the Lord's Alliance Army, that is what we have to work with. I will not sugarcoat this at all. The size of the force is significantly different. We have a couple of potential options here, and neither of them are very bright or glamorous. The first is, some of you may be familiar with the Zentarum. They are the Black Network. They are murderers, thieves, assassins. But they will suffer just like we will all suffer if Tiamat is brought to this land. We could try to get their assistance. If we do, we know that they have hit squads, essentially assassins, that we could send to cancel out or take out some of the cult leaders and perhaps spread some disarray in that area. Another option, and you see again the counselors really seem to be ruffled here, we have received word that these red wizards that are working for the cult, they are not red wizards that are in service of Thay. As some of you may know, Zastam, the Archlich, is the leader of Thay, and his red wizards in league with him are in Thay. And obviously they are quite influential and very powerful. These red wizards that are working for the cult are a splinter group. They have rebelled against Zastam and the red wizards of Thay, and they are out on their own, essentially. One potential option is we could go to Thay and try to persuade Thay to offer our assistance in fighting against the cult. They would have a vested interest in wanting to bring the rebel red wizards to bear. When red wizards leave Thay, they immediately are marked for death. So Thay would certainly be wanting to take them out. But I don't know how much of you know about Thay. It's essentially a necromantic nation full of undead beings and ruled over by an archlich, as previously mentioned. So that also doesn't leave a good taste in both of our mouths. First, I would like to say thank you for your efforts, and then quickly ask, what is your group's thoughts on these options? He will look
I don't
all
think
over all of you.
dealing with the red wizards is never a good idea.
I tend to agree, but there are red wizards on the enemy side. What do we have to counter them? What can we use to offset that advantage that they will have? You notice again some of the counselors kind of shifting in their seats once again. They're kind of looking around, looking at each of you.
Well, I will tell you, I don't know what wizards do except blow things up. And if we need stuff blowing up in front of me, it makes my life easier. And I do like the idea of more what like Hugo does, right? Hugo, you do like the magic stuff, and Gertu over there.
That's right.
I feel like more magic might be more better, as Leroy would say.
Yeah, we could counterspell them. That would stop them from casting spells.
Yes, but understand the scope of what we're referring to. We're talking about an army of wizards here. The number of red wizards in the cult's forces numbers somewhere between 30 and 50. So this is not individuals that you're going to be able to simply counterspell on an individual basis. Now, if we have 30 to 50 or more of our own wizards, then maybe.
Yeah, but that's what I said, right, Hugo? Am I not speaking common properly?
Sounds to me like you then, Gale, agree to try to bring Thay to our side.
Yeah, I don't know about they. Who cares? They have undead. We need to save the world.
I say pull out all the stops.
You see he looks around at all of you, and seeing that no one is like going out of their way to disagree, he looks at the other members of the council and he says, we were split on this decision. Many of us feel that getting in bed with Thay is not going to work to our advantage. But yes, so with that being said, we would like to ask that your group travel to Thay and lead the negotiations to try to bring them to our side. We have the means, as you know, and we have made arrangements to use teleportation magic to get you into Thay and meet with one of their leaders there for the negotiations. Do you have any thoughts or concerns about this?
Yeah, so I think that's wonderful, right?
Kurtu's thinking in the back of his mind someday he's just going to go home anyway and F them anyway. But
But who are you sending to negotiate on your behalf? I mean, I don't know what options you guys are willing to negotiate.
What we need is for them to aid us, and we believe the fact that the rebel red wizards are in league with the cult will make Zastam's faction, the ruling faction of Thay, very, very amenable to joining our side. We don't expect that they're going to ask for some large payments. They may ask for some token payment or some kind of token arrangement to agree to this, but really they have their own vested interest. So as far as some kind of monetary an amount that we can throw out there, if they request something that, say, is 20,000 gold or less, I'm sure we can make those arrangements.
So I don't know what an arch lick is, but I'll tell you that revenge is a very, very motivating idea, and if planted properly by someone who is not common second language, would definitely be an easier influence than dealing with what how you call them, the black network, with a bunch of sorry to offend criminals who are pretty hard to trust. I trust revenge
What's wrong with
over
criminals?
greed. I don't know, but I don't like criminals. Do you like criminals, Hugo?
Some of them.
Hugo may have something in his background. Who knows?
You
The
know
way you
he's a
said that.
criminal.
All right. Let's not speak out of turn for the good counsel here.
You notice the Alder Ravengard once again shifts some papers at the front of him here. You notice now Lady Laeral Silverhand kind of sits up more straight as she looks at all of your group. You see her silver eyes seem to radiate this sort of energy forward. You don't feel anything, but it is certainly this kind of strange effect. She looks to you all very quickly sweeping amongst each of you, and she says, "What we have been able to gather about this individual that you'll meet in Thay, she is known as a Tharchan. Her name is Aseldra Yeth. She is a vampire, and she is a spellcaster."
Are you writing this down, Hugo?
Yeah, but I didn't catch the first thing. A Seldron? What was the first thing?
Her title is Tharchan, and her name is Aseldra Yeth.
Okay, so is she expecting us, or we just show up with surprise and we have a proposal?
She is certainly expecting a representative of this council to arrive to lead the negotiations, yes.
Great. And do we have some type of document to prove that we are associated with this table?
We can certainly write up some documents to explain your connection to the council, yes.
Great. We're fantastic negotiators.
So, what I would make sure that you are aware of is that Thay is very much associated with necromantic magic. They worship deities of death, and they are very much focused on arcane magic. While you are there, in order to get on their good side, it would be best to not do anything to disparage their way of life or to bring sort of insult to them. Anything, for example, about talking about holy deities or paladins and clerics trying to make big shows of their faith, you're going to want to avoid all of that. If any of you happen to have necromantic magic, feel free to cast it, as they might be impressed.
Well, I've been tolling the dead for years.
I was just trying to think. I was like, I think it's the only necromantic magic between us. I don't know.
Am I going to have a night to sleep and prepare some new prayers?
If you wish, yes. We told them that we would send a representative as soon as possible, but if you feel that it is necessary to take another night, then we can make those arrangements.
That would just be to prepare necromantic magic.
So we are representatives of this. So we will not do anything to discredit this table when we go there. I will not swing my sword at anyone. There would be no reason for us to get into a confrontation.
Agreed. That would be best. Try not to get in any kind of fights or disagreements with them, for we need their aid as best as they can give it. You notice Alder Ravengard once again looks and he says, "As I said, I won't try to sugarcoat this at all. not everybody here is in favor of Thay joining us, but again, we feel that it is necessary based on what we are dealing with.
I would just say that I probably would have voted no as well, but when you gotta do, you gotta do. It's kind of like sometimes I gotta eat the cooked steak, but sometimes the raw one's better. But if the cooked one's the only one there, that's what I'm taking.
And you notice the counselors kind of look around and eye you, and some of them kind of nod slowly. You get the impression more or less trying to just be polite.
Well, that's what we'll be doing when we're talking to the undead wizards too. So
You notice the King Melendrak at this point now kind of takes center stage as he begins to speak in his Elvish voice here, speaking in Common, but obviously very much influenced by the Elvish tongue. There is also the matter we must address of Xanthal's Tower. As you have defeated the forces in the cult, by right of conquest, the tower belongs to you. There are many of the factions here who would like it to belong to them, of course, as Xanthal's Tower is a fabled place and very much associated with magic. If you were willing to donate it to one of the factions, that could go a long way into making sure that it'll be easier to persuade our individual forces to be fully in this engagement.
I don't care about that stupid tower.
Hold on.
I'm just saying what Gail, like, I don't care about the stupid tower. It's stupid.
Kurtu doesn't care about the tower either, but he's just kind of wondering. But he also remembers the last conversation we had. That we don't want to make ourselves look like mercenaries either. So
Harmony says, isn't the survival of our world as we know it enough of a reason for forces to be dedicated to this cause?
True, but we didn't necessarily check every room of the tower. There may be resources in there that more astute groups of spellcasters or other scholars can make use of in the battle to
like
come.
all those freaking books.
No, what about the TV we saw?
Yeah, Gail, the TV.
There was a TV.
I don't have a problem with giving the tower up.
Well, in that case, understand that each of the factions represented by this council are very interested in the tower. And of course, you can only give it to one of the factions. So, and you see he kind of pauses for a moment, and you notice Alder Ravengard looks towards your group once again. Yes, this has been an issue that has been brought up, I must say, multiple times by the council. The individual faction that you award it to will be benefited greatly. I don't want to advise you one way or the other. As I said, even the Flaming Fist would love to have Xanthal's Tower, so each of us have our own bias in this. You will have to decide amongst yourselves which faction to donate it to. So I will just step out of game here real quick to give you guys a quick out-of-character note. Essentially, if you guys haven't gathered so far, you're trying to win support from the factions for the final battle, and for lack of a better term, there's a point system about how many points you have with each faction. You're not supposed to know exactly how the factions how receptive they are to your group and to whether or not they're going to aid in the final battle or not. But you would essentially want to use this to try to bolster one of the factions that you don't think maybe is really in support of you so far to push them over the line, if that makes sense.
So, for example, we probably in good standing with the Emerald Enclave because we did the Poison Dragon. We're probably in good standing with the Flaming Fist because we obeyed this Ravengard guy. I think that's only two unless Dahlia is associated with something.
There was also that wizard we rescued way back in the ice place.
That wizard was associated with the Arcane Brotherhood, which is not one of the factions represented at the council.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think
That's a bad guy from Luskin.
Yeah, so I guess we're looking at, because I don't think Zentarim's here because they wouldn't have talked bad about him. So we're talking like Harper's Lord Alliance, and the Gauntlet too.
So the individual factions at the table are the Harpers, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Emerald Enclave, Lady Laeral Silverhand, Lord Neverember, Conrad Brown Anvil, King Melindrak, Alder Ravengard and the Flaming Fist, Terran Hornblade, and Sir Istival.
Adam, could we to help not make this drag on too much because I think this here could become a very long conversation. Could we do an group insight check to see maybe what our group may feel?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out which faction you think is would benefit you the most.
Yeah, and if anyone else has an opinion, I just think that may make this here a little bit quicker because it
That's
could
a good
turn
call.
into a lot.
Well, and along those same lines, if Darla doesn't have, or I don't know if I said her name right, but if she doesn't have a faction, could she aid us in determining the best choice? Or?
Yes, if you wish to speak with her, like after the council, and say like, "Hey, we want to take a minute to think about this," she could certainly give you her opinion.
Yeah, 5 points. Those are great. 2 great ideas.
Yeah.
5 points for Bill, and then 5 points for Libby. You're winning.
Oh, do I get to add that for temporary HP or something?
Well, we're just winning D&D.
I've got 2 blind checks. So I got Gale's and I got Hugo's. The rest of you guys want to make blind checks for insight?
I think Kurtu posted.
I don't see my character, token.
Oh yeah, that's right. You just drag your token on there. But I will tell you, based on the checks already made, you guys have already passed this group check. Everybody passed it, actually. So with that in mind, what I will tell you is, in the points-based system, right now, the Harpers are not particularly responsive to your efforts, so they would definitely be a good choice. Let me see if anybody else is kind of hanging in the balance. King Melindrak is right on the cusp of supporting you. You'd think that Terran Hornblade, you're not going to be able to get him to support you because some of the decisions you've made, he hasn't really been a fan of. And you're pretty sure Sir Istival is already fully in your camp. So really the most beneficial for you would either be the Harpers, which would get you closer to getting them to fully support you, or King Melindrak, which would definitely get him to support you.
I think we need to go for the sure thing.
So
Yeah,
who is this King Melindrak? Is he like a Lord's Alliance or something?
Wasn't he the guy whose son was the bad guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the king of the forest, if you remember.
The Elven King.
Yes.
I'd actually remember that. That was kind of a sad story.
So it's like the elves or the spies.
Well, guess who I get to pick? But we'll be good if we're smart. Can we talk about? Can we talk about it, Mr. Table person in charge?
Yeah, this is a big decision. It's a really amazing magical tower.
You notice that Alder Ravengard nods and says, "Yes, of course. You can take some time to decide that."
We huddle.
We will let you know before we depart in case we don't come back.
Which is definitely possible.
All right, so with these arrangements having been discussed and you guys requested a day, the council will allow you to leave and do whatever you need for a day. Once you're ready to be transported magically to Thay to lead the negotiations, you just need to come back to the council, and they essentially have a wizard ready to go whenever you're ready.
So can I stand up finally and push my chair back obnoxiously and say, one thing that's frustrating is that I'm sure you're aware the dragons fly, and I am holding a dragon slayer sword, and I can't hit the thing. They run from me like a bunch of geese. And is there anything to get me to fly, like boots or something, or do you have someone we can talk to? That would help save the world.
You notice the council members look at one another, and he looks back towards you. Go ahead and give me a blind check here, Gale.
I have inspiration if I'm ready. Oh, I don't. Never mind.
You notice Alder Ravengard says, I'm sure we could get you a pair of winged boots if that would suffice.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm a size 11 or like sometimes 12.
You see he looks at your feet and looks up at you again like he doesn't really believe you. Oh, sure, yes, I will see what I can do.
Oh, you're just lucky that the magic will make it shrink down to your level. You're good.
Well, thank you. We'll be in touch. Have a nice day at table.
All right, and the council dismisses you to your own devices.
We will try to find Dahlia based on Livy's excellent suggestion.
Okay, yes, you can certainly find Dala. She is here still in the bureaucratic offices of Waterdeep. So I'll move you guys to the Waterdeep map so we know that we're no longer in the council chambers. You are able to track Dala down. You notice that she is busy working here, pushing a lot of paper. She sees you approach, and you see she stops and looks and blinks her eyes and says, it is good to see you. It's been a while.
I hope things have worked out with your friends at the table. I'm sorry that it came to such a disheartening experience, I imagine, for you.
A little bit of a career setback, to be honest, but, well, what does that matter when the forces that we face right now?
So, you have done so. I trust that you are doing all these depend for the betterment of the world here, and I don't know. Armini had a great idea, and Armini, go ahead, ask her what you were thinking, because you're more articulate than me. It was your idea. I thought I'd have you roleplay it.
Well, you mean who we should pick?
Yeah, that, like what you were saying, that we were whispering over there.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we already have it narrowed down to 2 people, but basically I thought you might have some insight onto who it'd be best for us to give this tower to in order to guarantee their assistance.
You notice she stops and thinks about it for a moment. She says, well, I would be lying if I said I hadn't really considered this. The factions obviously are moving at 1,000,000 miles a minute. There's so much things that they are doing, and to be honest, there are 2 individuals on the council who very much support you, and they have been rallying the other factions to your cause. I don't know if this has been so clear to you. You probably haven't even noticed this, but both Sir Istable and Lady Lyle Silverhand have really been getting the other factions on board. With their support, I think you will have every faction supporting you except for Terran Hornblade. He is still not fully convinced, but if you were to give him Xonthal's Tower, in addition to the other support that has already been brought forward for you, that would be enough to get him on your side if you can also bring Faye to the table.
They or they? I'm sorry, common second language.
The red
place where we're going.
Yeah, the red wizard. Okay, got it. Sorry.
Yeah, what's with that guy? Why does he not like us?
Well, suffice to say that he has a different way of looking at things than many might think. He has lived an unnaturally long life, is very, very old. He led Silvery Moon for many years as the High Mage until he ceded control to the current ruler, and, well, he is just a very different way of looking at things, I suppose is the best way of saying it.
Like he's not from this world, or he's like...
He is. He's just very old and has used magic to extend his life, so he tends to view things over different spans of time, and priorities don't necessarily mean the same to him that they deem to others. Of most concern is that if he is on board, you will have the forces of Silvery Moon at your disposal, and he is very, very protective of the soldiers of Silvery Moon. So he wants to make sure that their lives are not going to be lost needlessly.
Is he a dragon?
He is not, no. At least, not that I've been able to determine.
Huh. They live a long time, right, Hugo?
Yeah, for sure.
So
They're
if
usually really big at that point, though.
Oh yeah, because all the stuffs they eat. So if we give them the pointy tower, the phallic tower in the middle of two giant mountains, then he would with what's her name with the sparkly eyes would help with the others, and then hopefully we could combine the whole table with Petals. I think that's a good idea, Armini. What do you think?
Sorry, I was just thinking about how I do not believe them for a second that wasn't the real mask.
Oh yeah, that I forgot about that. But yeah, well, Hugo's magic. He said it was, and I look at you,
Yeah.
Hugo, with big eyes.
You tell me why a big giant blue dragon would be fighting over a fake. Sorry, sometimes I get distracted.
That's why I said it maybe a month ago, but I think there's a dragon at the council. I really do.
I do too. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we give to this silvery hand person.
If you're willing to give it to Terran Hornblade, that is the individual who would be most advantageous for you to donate Xanthos Tower to. His nickname is Thunder Spells, and as I said, he is representative of Silvery Moon. If you're familiar with Silvery Moon at all, you will know that it has a large army and is composed of many wizards.
Oh yes,
That's
Air
what we
Force
need.
support. Yes.
But she's saying something that's different from our insight checks.
Yeah, that's what I was
right?
wondering.
Right, so you guys did a gauge on what you knew of the individual factions. You were not aware that both Sir Istavil and Lady Laryl Silverhand has been trying to persuade the other factions on your behalf. If you take out the support of those two, then exactly what you guys incited is accurate. You would need to donate it to either the Harpers or to the other faction I mentioned to get them on board. But because Sir Istavil and Lady Laryl Silverhand are already persuading those factions, they don't actually need the tower to be able to support you.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
Well, there's one more thing we need to consider. Securing Hornblade's help is contingent on persuading Thay to join us. But not everyone on the council believes that this is the right course of action. If we were to successfully persuade Thay, then do we risk losing any support elsewhere?
Yes.
But we would gain this person, Silvery Moon, and they have some nice wizards in their war machine.
Who do we think we would lose?
It's hard to say, knowing what each faction, how it gauges things and how it responds to your actions. So, yeah, it's certainly possible, but hard to say.
Do you know which factions currently are against Thay's involvement?
I cannot say for sure, but I can guess based on some past behavior and such. The enemies of Thay are generally the forces of good. Sir Istavil is a paladin, and I can't imagine that he would look at that too kindly. Let's see. Well, of course, Alder Ravengard, he is the leader of the Flaming Fist. He's probably not a big fan of Thay either. The others, a bit of a mix-up or a toss-up. Other than, I would say, the Order of the Gauntlet is very much against Thay, and they would not be in favor of bringing them to the table.
Yeah, so many what ifs.
We stand to potentially lose a lot of support for the support of one guy. Although wizards are very impactful, as we've seen. So, and in that event, we might also have the support of the Red Wizards as well. So it's just a matter of whether that's worth it to us, the potential trade-offs that we're going to agree to here.
But I don't care about the flaming fist guy.
I mean, in character, Hugo's probably against it because he doesn't like the Fae.
In character, Gale doesn't know what you're talking about and knows that wizards do all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
These are bad wizards.
Now, Brian knows I'm running Tomb of Annihilation, and so I know I've studied the Fae.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what they're about.
There will be collateral damage from these, I promise you.
Kurtu personally doesn't care because he plans on going back home after this. So
I'm only doing this for Bryn's honor, and and of course you peoples, and you Dahlia, of course.
Which collateral damage is the worst collateral damage? I feel like we're between a rock and a hard place.
yep.
Well, I feel like there's simple decision. Like do we recruit the dragon who's going to fly in with the Silvery Moon Dipples, and then lose 2 factions maybe out of how many? There were like 8 in there, right? So but we gain the powerful one. Or we give it to like maybe the Harpers, or we give it to the Gauntlet who doesn't want us to go to Thay, but if we give him a tower, maybe it'll work out.
But if we don't give the tower to the
Silvery
guy,
Moon.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna get his support either way then. What
We don't give the tower to who?
what Adam is saying is that we have to give the tower to Hornblade, whatever his fucking name is, and we have to convince Thay to join us, and that would be enough to secure his support. But we don't know for sure if we're going to lose anyone else in the process, if we're even successful. Like, we could go there and just, oh, by the way, this is a trap just like that fucking inn, and then we gotta fight our way out.
No. Revenge is the biggest motivation of Dipples, not greed or like stealing stuff like those Zentarum criminals. Revenge is a fucking cold dish served hot, as Leroy would say.
Well, they don't run very hot.
I'm voting for this the silver guy there.
That's my vote as well.
Yeah, I say we give it to the dragon leader of the Silvery Moon. We're not going to fail with Thay. We are going to make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 potential outcomes here, right? If we give the tower to Hornblade, giving the tower to anyone else doesn't help. We've already got them, so assuming we give it to him, right? If we succeed, then we get his stuff and the Red Wizards, and we might lose other people, and if we fail, we keep those people, but we don't get the wizard team. So it kind of seems like a wash to me. So we might as well try.
Yeah, I think that's our path.
We might not even lose people. They practically asked us to do this, some of them.
The majority voted to allow us to do this.
Groovy.
But yes.
We need to trust the lady with the sparkly eyes. She'll fix everything else.
I want to give it to her for supporting us, but I don't, that's not strategic. I'm just saying what I wish we would do, but, that's not an option.
I think that was her flirting.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Hugo. The Kurtu's in love, I think.
I just like being appreciated.
All right, let's give it to the weirdo.
And then I'm going to give Kurtu a hug. I'm in autumn form. You guys are lucky.
All right, so it sounds like is the group agreeing to give it to Terran Hornblade?
Yes, but before we do, Adam, I don't want to turn this into a shopping episode, but those potions were amazing. So obviously, a trip to the potion store and our day break would be good as
Yeah.
Harmony tries to fix some stuff.
Do we think that maybe I don't I don't know if we're gonna potentially get into a fight in the next 15 minutes, so do we maybe want to say we did our shopping like retroactively, like over the week until next time, and just like
I'm okay with that.
okay.
Yeah, okay, I can Discord.
My only concern is that if we get there and then there's immediately something that happens, we don't want to be like metagaming. Well, actually, I bought this fucking
Well, I
potion
guess
that
what I'll say
solves
is
this
unless
problem.
you guys go full on murder hobo, I don't think you'll get into a fight in the next 15 minutes.
I am not trying to chop anyone's head off except dragons, and then I go back to my Feywild and live a happy life with Bryn's
Any-
body in my grasp.
Anyone have a secret flaw that says they have to attack and kill undead on sight? No? Okay.
No.
Then I think we do our shopping over the week and just assume that that was done.
Yeah,
You know,
so we
yeah.
can meet the council. I'll get my fancy boots. Tell them we're giving it to Mr. Thornblade, and then we go to Thay. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right, so we will assume you guys can, in the break between this session and next session, do your shopping. Obviously, anything from the PHB is fine. If there's special potions that you're looking for, just like before, we'll do a random table of what's available. I'll throw that in Discord for you guys, and if you wish to purchase those at the prices listed, you can. But for now, we will assume that that is happening sort of in between the time. And yeah, you guys let the council know that you are donating Zampel's Tower to Terran Hornblade. You let them know that you're ready to be teleported to Thay in order to go on this diplomatic mission.
Did they provide me with fancy boots?
Yes, Alder Ravengard is able to procure you a pair of winged boots.
Excellent.
Nice.
All right, and as you arrive back at the council and all of this information is passed back and forth, you realize that the mage that you're being teleported by is actually a red wizard from Thay, who is here at the council's request and is going to take you back to Thay in order to have the conversation. You notice this red wizard, like most red wizards, is wearing her red wizard garb, and she is in this sort of small area that is sequestered away from the rest. As many of you know, red wizards generally are not out in the open when they're dressed in their robes because they are enemies of most factions. You also notice that she has a very plain appearance other than her red robes. You can see that she has some very faded looking gray tattoos on her face. But as you approach, you notice she has a very quiet disposition about her, and she just motions for you all to get close, and then she just looks and says, "Are you all ready?"
Yes, I haven't eaten breakfast, so I will not throw up.
As ready as we will be.
Thank you for the ride.
She nods her head slowly as she begins incanting her spell, and in mere moments you find yourselves whisked away. Alright, as you find yourselves suddenly in this large chamber, you hear the sound of lightning crackling outside. You're not sure how far you've moved. Clearly, based on the discussion, you're somewhere in Thay. But you notice that it is nighttime where you are, or at least it is dark outside. There are candles and other light sources lit up around this location, but you have this very ominous presence about you. You can feel this sort of gloominess that pervades this area. You notice the mage who has come with you gives you once again an inclination of her head, and she says, "The Tharchan waits. Follow me." And she turns on her heels and begins walking forward to a set of double doors.
I follow.
Yeah, I follow on alert.
Okay. She opens the door and escorts you into this large chamber. As you enter this large chamber, you realize that this is very much set up in a very defensive structure, and with the forces arrayed before you, it seems as though this Tharchan really wanted to make a point to let you know that you are not in control here.
Doesn't he know we're all level 12 now?
Someone has a complex.
The Tharchan sits on the throne, and you can see she looks out at you with red eyes. Based on the council's information letting you know that she is a vampire, this is exactly what you would think a vampire would look like. She does not seem to be trying to hide her appearance or her nature at all. Probably here in Thay, she is actually considered this is considered a good thing. Vampires are very much rewarded almost, or celebrated in this land. As you're looking around at all of these different forces amongst you, you notice that everybody in this room is undead. From all of the guards amongst you to the clear spellcasters in robes and holding onto staves, each one of them has pale skin and bluish or blackish eyes. They all seemingly look at you with intent and with purpose. The woman sitting on the throne, clearly this Tharchan, addresses you. We find ourselves bound in common cause against common enemies. Those who sought to destroy us in ages past now seek to destroy you. Our thirst for vengeance is strong, as is your thirst for continued life. Our enemy has become your enemy. We know their weaknesses and the ways of destroying them forever, without destroying their usefulness. You have the opportunity to discover their hiding places in your struggle against their cult allies. Together, we can remove them as a threat to us both. And you see she eyes each of you, and you can see this sort of like twitch in her upper lip as she is speaking to you, and at a glance you can see these extended teeth. She gives you a tight-lipped smile as she looks at you all. I suppose you all thought this was going to be much more challenging, that you are going to have to discuss and persuade us to join your cause. But alas, we here in Thay move quickly and decidedly. The decision has already been made.
Well, that is excellent, Your Highness. Revenge is a very motivating element of life.
Her eyes linger on you for a moment, and you see a slight smile as you say this. Well said.
We're so excited to have you join us.
Her eyes look towards you now, Armony, and you get the impression she's reading your expression, your voice, your tone of voice for any hint of a lie.
Harmony is entirely earnest.
Okay. She seemingly eyes you for a moment and then looks back. Do you have any questions for me or for the forces that we will give at your disposal?
What are you planning to do with the dragons?
We care not about the dragons. It is the rebel red wizards that we will focus our hatred towards.
You said they would still have usefulness. What does that mean?
She motions with her hand to the forces arrayed before her. Even in death, they will serve.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is wonderful. So how would we go about, so you just take care of your revenge, right? And you focus on those guys, and we could focus on, I can focus on killing the dragons, and you just focus on the red peoples.
She inclines her head. Yes, I am given to understand that your input at the Council of Waterdeep as far as which force should fight which force will be requested. And what you just said is perfect. Yes, assign us to fight against the rebel Red Wizards. We will do more than counter them. We will obliterate them.
Gale has a big ass smile on his face.
I'm
Great.
okay with that. They've been a bunch of bitches for the last 12 months. So yeah.
Okay, so then how do you know when we are going to the place? I mean, that's a bit of, now we're in the minutiae, the details of this, but we're happy to agree. We go back to the table and tell them that you guys have agreed, and then we could be off. Sorry, but I don't want to intrude on your hospitality.
Oh, but you must, for you are our guests, and we ask that you spend the night here with us to bond our agreement in the forge of friendship. As far as how you will communicate with us, our agent, and you see she motions to the wizard who has teleported you here, Ilmic, will return you to your city of Waterdeep after you spend the night, and there she will then serve as our liaison to your council.
Great. I didn't have breakfast because we were going to teleport, so I'm hungry.
Party time.
Yeah, this is fun.
Vampire party time.
Worry not. Food and refreshments will be provided.
Well, thank you. And I give a slight head bow to the queen.
I'll follow suit with a little bow.
She has the same smile on her face, seemingly happy with your answers and your body language. She says then, once you learn of the enemy, you will make sure to tell our agent. Once the final preparations are made and the strike is to go forward, simply let her know and our forces will be able to move in very short time. I am authorized by our eternal master, Zastam, to say these things and forge this pact in blood. And with this, you see she steps up from her throne and steps forward past her guards. And she reaches forth with her hand, and you see on her left hand, there's a very fine needle point, needle essentially that protrudes from her nail. And you see she cuts her hand. There's this very slight cut. And she reaches forward towards you, Spectre, and she says, forge this bond in blood.
Yeah. Does it look like from her body language that I need to take her needle? Or do I get the impression that I gotta use my own?
Give me a blind check. Her posture is certainly odd. You certainly don't think you can take her needle off of her finger, but maybe if you offered your arm, she would do the cutting for you.
I do that without hesitation. Spectre will sacrifice anything, give any price for the mission.
Yes, good job, Spectre.
All right, as you put your hand forth, you notice she gives that same little smile, and in just one very quick, almost inhumanly fast reaction, you see she moves her hand, her finger, and this little tiny slit in your skin appears as well. She then combines her hand with yours, and you see she closes her eyes as though she's experiencing a moment of pleasure, and then suddenly her eyes open, and she looks at you very intently for a moment. And then she pulls her hand back and actually looks at it and just kind of squeezes it a couple of times. And you notice the wound on her hand is gone. My, secrets we all possess.
Next week, you're going to be an undead half demon.
With this, you see she returns to her position on the throne, and she motions once again to the agent that brought you here. Please follow Naya. She will take you to suitable accommodations for your stay.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, if she's moving, I'm moving with her.
No, 100%.
The agent opens the doors from the audience chamber to lead you back throughout the castle as you all follow her, and that audience chamber is now behind you. It gets eerily silent. It was fairly quiet in the audience chamber as well, but there was some movement with her. There was the candles, the flickering torches light kind of deal. Here, as you're moving through the castle, it's dead, eerily silent. And as she makes her way up to these extended rooms, climbing a set of stairs that you follow, you notice many cobwebs and other signs of disuse in this area. She opens 6 different rooms for you. There are only 5 of you, so one of them probably goes unused, but she offers each one of you your own room. Other than looking like it hasn't been used in quite a long time, they are fairly luxurious, and you see these very large feather beds here before you, and you notice that as each of you sort of look at these, she says, food will be delivered to your rooms shortly.
Oh, wow, this is a sweet honey pot.
She kind of raises her eyebrows slightly at you, but doesn't respond to that comment. Is there anything else you need before I leave you?
So when we say food, right? I mean, is it a special menu? Something that I can, do we order it or what?
The food has already been selected for you. Worry not, it will certainly meet your high standards.
Okay.
She said meat.
Good.
I just don't know how long it's been dead, if you know what I mean. So,
Can we eat it all together?
You can do as you wish, but I would recommend that you not leave this wing of the castle.
Okay, that's fine.
yeah, Kurtu has no desire to do that.
I don't know. I kind of want to come back here for vacation sometime.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the Yelp review looks like after tonight, but
All right, she makes her way away from you, and as your group perhaps is all in one room or maybe in a couple of rooms and discussing exactly how this all went, eventually, sure enough, this food is delivered to you. You notice there is quite a selection. Fruits, they do look a little bit paler, not as bright and vibrant as you would expect. There is some slices, cuts of meats. Some looks to be like pork, others looks to be beef. And you notice, particularly maybe of interest to you, Kurtu, there's many deviled eggs here that have been provided as well.
Ooh.
As each of you enjoys this food, or perhaps partakes little bits here and there, it tastes suitably fine. The fruit has a little bit of like an off flavor to it, as though maybe it hasn't fully ripened, but everything else seems to be in good taste. There's even wine provided and others. You guys each have this meal, and then I'm presuming you're sleeping in separate beds, or are you worried about safety and you're trying to all group together in a room or two?
I am ambassadors to the peoples at the table. I will sleep alone and try to attune to my feats.
I feel like that's what they want. Separate beds is fine. Are the rooms close enough that we think if like someone started screaming, we would hear them?
Yes, they're all within like 15 feet of one another. So, the furthest you would go in 5 rooms is probably 60 feet.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think we should each have our own room, unless anyone disagrees, but I would like to.
Harmony's going to be brave and sleep alone.
Hugo tries to find the softest bed.
All right.
Can I also check my palm to see if my wound has healed or if anything untoward has happened?
Yeah,
Okay.
it hasn't healed. It just looks like a very, very fine scratch. Like if you didn't know it was there, you don't think you would even be able to spot it.
Okay, but it's not like festering or anything.
No,
I'm not like
no.
necrotizing. Okay.
No, vampirism takes a little while to take in.
Yeah, 3 days once you're buried underground, right?
takes a while for the maggots to come out anyway.
I'll take it. They got some sick abilities.
All right. As each of you eventually makes your way to your bed, having eaten and gotten your fill of drink, and now trying to get a good rest in, all of you except for Gale, please make me a wisdom saving throw. You can throw this publicly.
Which means I automatically fail.
No, you're Elven, right? Or
Yeah, so you don't sleep.
well, that's same with Harmony though.
She's a half elf. Yeah. Wisdom save?
Yes, wisdom saving throw.
But I still have Fey ancestry. Just for the record.
All right. Yeah, unfortunately, that won't help you out of this effect. Okay, so as all 4 of you fail this save, you are met with terribly fitful and exhausting nightmares overnight, and we will get into the specifics of those next week. Hope everybody enjoyed this session. We got through a lot of content, and you guys can obviously tell you're gearing up for this final conflict with the cult, which will be coming up and played out through our next 2 sessions. Looking forward to it, guys. We'll see you all next week.
All right, folks.
Nice.
Yep. See ya.
Pipe pipe.
Hey, Adam, real quick. Can I attune or do I need to wait?
No, you can attune.
Okay, roger that. Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
All right, night all.